love this place!
Hey, man, is that
Double D?
Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Let's just go in and, like, kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening their refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren. Right?
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, you know, white dudes in a basement, which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys. For socialism and femboys.
For socialism and femboys.
You gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
Their voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
When we got the descriptions, they were very adamant. They were like, try not to make it like a white blonde guy. Like, please, like, we love them, but there's like 500 million of them.
The diversity that the characters need to have needs to reflect the gaming world now. The mix of people that are playing these games, you know, it's not, 13-year-old white boys held up in their basements. It's a very diverse crowd,
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
What's this?
What's this? It's the jacket.
The jacket.
The jacket.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Otisburg. Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg. It's a little bitty place. Otisburg. Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town. Yep.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
Yeah. 5, 4, 3. Craig, sandwich!
And just try and whack it. Yes, this is good. And again. That's it. And again. Try and breathe. Relax. That's it. Out the loop. Back up. Whoa.
Double zeros, baby! Double zeros, baby!
I love that.
Hey, Hungar, did you see my latest video?
Aren't you wearing his merch?
I was wearing your shirt, buddy. Now over 3,500 people got to see Hungar, the Barbarian. How you guys doing? Look at this. Got a good crowd already. Jeffrem's here. Cyrix, good to see you. I know he's here for the Shadowdark talk, which we will do in just a little bit. We're going to have a guest on, though, here first. Comic related, but also kind of RPG related. And in fact, the comic itself is kind of D&D-ish, I would say. But first, let me introduce my co-hosts, my peeps,
proper,
my ride or dies.
That will fail. He's everywhere. I'll make mincemeat out of you, mouse.
Yeah,
I never used that phrase.
Ride or die.
And then someone that we know said, you know, as Crazy Mouse always says, ride or die. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever said that.
And of course, it's Crazy Mouse. And of course, balancing things out.
I feel like
I like how he's got a gun too. It's like
I feel like we should remember
in
something about Mary when he's like, all I got's these damn Nepalese coins.
Yeah. We are joined by Aaron C.
What's up?
What up?
Rising.
How's it going, Aaron? It's going very well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And hail chat. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, Crazy Mouse. He paid you a kind a compliment based on the last time you were here. What did you say, Crazy Mouse?
Look and sound just like if Jason Momoa had a stunt double, it's you.
Sweet, I'll take it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't know what guy would have been like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, can you just time travel back to my 20s and tell all the girls that I talked to the same thing? That'd be
exactly.
Great.
Yeah, I used to when I was like a much younger man. I guess I had a passing resemblance to Harrison Ford, and like when somebody told me, like I was like, this is like when I was 20 years old. I was on like cloud nine. Those days are long gone. Mercurius in for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Mercurius.
Thank you.
Good to see you here. And look at this
merch.
Double zeros, you you mofos. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Because they pay me every time I do. Yep, great to see you here. Cal's here. Thank you, our
Patrick
fearless.
Surly.
Yep. Yeah, we'll call out.
Dave Ann, I see.
Yep. Great Goldworm. The gang's all here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Best chat in the business.
Without further
the
ado.
business. All right. So, Aaron.
Yes,
you've
sir.
Been busy.
I have. Been very
Tell us
busy.
what you've been working on. What is now live?
So I now have the second campaign for Immortal Rising. I am offering Immortal Rising number 2. It is it's about 50 pages, roughly 44 pages of story with added art, and yeah, it's man, I don't even know where to begin. So Immortal Rising was based on my tabletop homebrew setting, and was kind of writing things down, writing notes and stuff for my game. When as a amateur writer, I started to write down the timeline, and that grew into the story that eventually became the comic book. So, and one of the reasons that I chose a comic book over a novel was because of the the amazing fantasy art. I mean, that's one of the things that hooked me from being a kid, was just fantasy art. So
oh yeah,
I was like, when I started seeing characters and scenes coming back from the artists, I was like, I'm hooked. Let's do it. So
did you have any favorite old school artists particularly?
Oh man, I mean Clyde Caldwell,
yes,
Ed Greenwood. I like Royo a lot. I really like the heavy metal magazines. All of the different artists that appeared in there. So yeah, I mean everything RPG. I mean, even it's funny because every now and again on comic streams and stuff, it'll come up that I'll have to mention that say The Crow comes up. Well, James O'Barr did art in 2nd edition D&D. He did some black and white art, and everybody's like, "What? No way!" So yeah, it's a little trivia that I like to hold on to.
Yep. Nice.
The super nerds people.
Oh yeah. Disco Barbarian, $2. The war band is collected to pillage. Yes, indeed. Good to see you here, Disco. Clyde Caldwell.
I'm sorry.
He did one of my favorites. The cover to the original Dragonlance.
There we go.
Is one of my favorites, man. He's really good.
Yeah, there's somebody.
I bought a calendar from him, a 1988 calendar. He still has some left, so he was selling them. And not only you got that, like I thought, because it came before, like I thought he had screwed something up. He sent like a really nice print as well, like one of his prints, like in a tube.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I said, Clyde, I said, this is great. I said, but I ordered a calendar. He's like, no, you get that too. He's like, the calendar's on its way, buddy.
Oh wow!
Shit. So nice, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice, dude.
Someone on Twitter, they'll do was it Midnight Clyde Caldwell, and it'll just be posts about Clyde Caldwell art and stuff. So cool. I love it every now and again.
I love accounts like that on Twitter. Like I actually follow one. It's completely different, but it's called like Noir Chicks in Hollywood. And it's
Nice.
just like old, like 50s, even earlier sometimes, just
Yeah.
all these old vintage beauties, like
That's
Sophia
nice.
Loren, like
Yeah.
Dream of Genie.
yeah, Barbara,
go.
yeah. There you
Yeah, somebody mentioned Brahm in the yes, Brahm, man, the Dark Sun art. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Like that was a pretty big influence on me. I was like, that is
Yeah,
so,
Brahm.
like I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're about as far away from from that right now as far as like
Oh man,
the 5e art is going than is possible. I think Ultra American $2 Shadow Rama, brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. There you go. Hungar the Starbarian, $5. A little mouse dropping for you. Crazy mouse.
Appreciate it.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, you've said that your own D&D game was kind of like the inspiration kind of for this story.
Definitely.
Do you still play regularly, Aaron?
We do. My table, I still have the so we still play on my homebrew setting. Probably, man, with this table, mostly like maybe 1 or 2 players have either left or joined. And man, this table we've been together. I want to say 10 years, 12 years, something like that.
Oh, wow. And this is live play or is it online play? Yeah.
Well, one of our members, he got a job in Hawaii working for the like as a military contractor. So he goes out, he lives out there, and he'll Discord call and yeah, he'll be on the computer, and then the rest of us will be at my table. So that's nice.
Do you go to any of the conventions that are out there?
I have a little bit, but not really. I've gone to a couple of conventions, but I haven't gone to too many, unfortunately, not yet. I kind of want to go when I have something to offer, like once I get this up a little bit more, I want to take floppies to different conventions and try to sell them. But we have a great game store here. It's called Games Plus One. And in fact, one of my players' ex works there. So
is
like
that Chicagoland?
No, I'm actually in Rock Island, which is about 3 hours from Chicago. So
okay.
Terribly far.
Yeah, because I know there is a Games Plus kind of out, because I've been to it when I got sent there for work. Me and my buddy went to it. It was kind of in that area, so maybe it's like a offshoot or something.
It could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, in fact, they were even at. They go to Gen Con every year, so they had a booth at Gen Con. In fact, I found a nice old Oriental Adventures book.
Can you say Oriental? I don't know. Isn't that like?
Well, I
don't even know. Who knows?
Thing was, Aaron, I was doing a live stream. I'm like, well, I'll give these guys content. So I was just kind of rolling the vendor hall, and I'm like, oh, in here, and I found it, and I'm like, what do you think, chat? And so somebody had a great point. And they're like, dude, get the Oriental Adventures. That is something you can guarantee they will never reprint ever with that name. So I'm like,
I remember when I worked, it's funny you said that way. When I worked at Old Navy, I was joking around one day with just some of the girls, and someone came in to ask for something. Where's the women's section? And I was like, well, our whole store is a women's section. Anybody can wear it. I don't know what the fucking answer. I don't know how to answer this shit anymore. I don't know. The stuff that's made for the girls is over that way, but anybody can do anything here. Yeah.
Hungar has $5 for you too. Rogan, there you go.
Very
He's taking
nice.
care of everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Making it rain. It's like a strip club up in here tonight.
Leave it on. Leave it on.
Yeah. What kind of show
take
is
us up
it?
to the champagne room pretty soon. Up to the VIP section. So how would you describe yourself as like a DM? You do DM, right?
I do. I'm like, the forever DM. But probably, I don't know, 6 years ago or something like that, maybe a little bit more, other players started trying to DM and stepping up to it. I was like, oh, thank you. Can I please just play a character, So, yeah, but most of everything is built on things that I've already created,
Right.
So, and then they just kind of build on it, which is fun. It's really nice to like cooperative DM a world. It's more easy than I was worried. I was like, oh, they're gonna come in and just smash all my Legos or something. But
ruin mess up your stuff.
When you have to switch after being a DM for so long and then you switch to the other side, do you feel like a lot of like when you are playing another character, you got a lot of stuff that you want to work out that you've been holding in for all your characters that you've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like tonight I'm going to do this, and this. Rape and pillage.
Well, I mean, I guess sometimes I'm so passive for a lot of things that I try not to like take control. So I don't want to scare off any of the DMs, and I don't want to. Although sometimes I tend, every couple of parties I'll end up being the leader of the party. So that's just kind of my personality. I've played for so long; it's just kind of like an easy role for me to fall into. Like organize. Okay, well, take charge and do this and do that. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think at our table, when Double D has to go and be a player, I think that personally, I think he does a good job. There's one campaign where I think he was the leader. It was one that Stern ran about a spaceship and stuff like that. And it was like,
yeah.
But then in Rogan's game, even though Double D plays the most popular character, like he plays the cool kid at the table, I don't know if I would say that he's the leader of the group. He's not the star. He's a supporting character.
I try not to be,
but so I don't know.
You as a DM, when you I think if you're self-conscious at all, you don't want to step on the other side and all right guys, now I'm running things from the front of the side. From the other side.
Get in line.
Do it all.
I don't want to. I do not want to do that. Yeah. Plus,
That's
I
funny.
mean, it's good to just kind of, I don't want to say go on like autopilot, but just kind of follow, rather than lead.
Yeah.
Well, every player should hop in there and give DMing a try. I think that would open their eyes.
Well,
I agree.
Yeah. I think everyone should give it a shot. Although, as the Knights of the Dinner Table once said eloquently, many are called, few are chosen.
That is true.
There are some like Rogan. Rogan is a pretty good DM. We have another, another guy, Sean in our group, who's a pretty good DM too. So
he always runs like space adventures kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Patrick Demo didn't want to be left out, by the way. He wants to make it rain too.
Make it rain.
Right.
Yeah, hey, make it rain. Go buy my comic book. I love it.
There you go. Hungar's taking care of his women, his bottom bitches.
My
women, his bottom bitches. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned like a spaceship kind of adventure, because one of the players was DMing. I don't know. This campaign has probably been maybe a year, roughly, and he did like a whole Star Trek thing, and we weren't expecting it. So like we all had characters that didn't really fit the roles we ended up falling into. So right. It was interesting. It was definitely interesting, put it that way.
I've always wanted to do a Trek one, but boy, it's almost one of those I'd almost encourage, like, if you're not into Trek, maybe, let's do this on an off night or
I'm Scotty.
Yeah.
Yes. Crazy Mouse.
Well, him and another player are super Trekkies, right? And they'll know the difference between Trekker and Trekkie. So I'm like, hey, I don't know. Yeah. Like, I like Trek, don't get me wrong, but I think you guys got me on that one.
Yeah, Trekker used to be the good, like that was the more polite one. Trekkie meant like, that your typical like convention nerd. Essentially.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Hungar, man, you are on a roll.
Dropping it. What, do you win some scratchers before you join
us
on Wednesday? What's going on here tonight?
You hit the daily number over there. Thank you very much. Let's take a look though at Immortal Rising 2 now. You can of course pick up the original Immortal Rising, which I do have. Maybe I'll flip through that. I do have it right here with me.
And on this campaign, I'm offering a different cover. So the blue girl, the Empress, is done by Corey Barton, and that is the cover for issue 1 on this campaign. And then cover 2 is done by Jimmy Reyes, Marvel artist, as well as the colors on that one was done by I think it's Andrea Gardino, who does color work for role-playing games. So
what's floppy mean? Like a soft cover book?
Yeah, floppy is saddle stitched, and it's like 24 pages, something like that. It's a round of 4, and it won't be as heavy paper. So the premiums have 80-pound paper, perfect bound is what they call it, where there's no staples, and it's glossy. Whereas the floppies, will be the pages will be nice and everything, but it won't be as high quality as the premiums. So And that was just so that if anybody was interested, but maybe they don't have a spare $20 or whatever it is plus shipping, at least they could get 2 of the floppies for $10. I wanted
Just
to
that artwork with the colors, they pop.
Yeah.
I'm picturing this at a table at a convention. These things would fly.
That's exactly what I was hoping to hear.
So
like that's why I'm doing the floppies. I'm like, listen, not everybody is going to be interested in my tabletop world made into a comic book, but I think that if I give it as a very affordable, I'll just pick this up as I'm walking through kind of price, because conventions can be very expensive. And if you saw, a comic for $5 with amazing art, there's a really good chance that you're going to pick it up.
100%. Oh yeah, those colors.
Once you do, it's over.
You're hooked. Yeah, we got you.
Now we got I think you have a little.
Yes, and in advance. In advance, I want to apologize for. I think I was on Natural Ones, and somebody in the chat said it was a potato audio. So I will apologize in advance for the potato audio.
That's all right. I thought I watched. I thought it was kind of endearing. I kind of liked it. So.
There we go.
Find you, Locutus, my creator. From your chaotic bones I shall make my order. Congratulations, recruits.
I'm so excited.
I don't want to babysit 2 spoiled princes.
I need to make a good impression for the soldiers. This is a silly waste of time.
What? Is that my long-lost magic ruby? Empress, find my ruby.
Your will is my command, my master. We're invading Terra to find Balmain's ruby.
Go forth, save the innocent, and punish the wicked. Yes, Father. I have an easy life. But is that all there is?
The ruby could win this war once and for all. Let's kick the nest and see what falls out.
Locutus calls to his creations for help.
Where are we?
What are those things? We have to get out of here.
Have the gods gone mad?
The Bomanites have invaded Terra. Has the last shard of Locutus' heart been found? The war cannot continue without the heart. We can't risk losing it if it's there. You've come to the wrong place. Terra is under my protection.
Hell yeah, man.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me just gonna put this here. As I switch cameras, as you can see, I have the first one of these. I can tell you guys, this is really good quality.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
the
80
same
pound
book that we have on our back screen, just a different cover.
Yeah, the number
yes.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
the one. Yeah.
I went in and I did do some changes because we found errors after we put it out. So I went back in and tried to correct as many as we could find. And not that there was a lot, but just small things. But yes, same story, same art, everything like that. Just
so is this the map, Aaron, that you use for your campaign? Like when you sit down
yes,
to play?
that's one of the continents on the world, and that's the one that we start off with, the continent of Vandal.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, this kind of follows a group of rangers, right?
Yes, you start off and you see the main character and his love interest are graduating ranger school, and there's like a feast or a ball or celebration, summer celebration going on, and so they are tasked to escort the princes of the kingdom to go, as like between the kingdom and the military or whatever, the king and the military. Hey, we're gonna go and for a political move, we're gonna go out and go hunt a boar, and we'll look good for the princes, and the princes will look good for the kingdom, and everybody will have a good time and all that stuff, and it won't be that hard. Well, the escort mission kind of hits a snag as you read through, and things don't really go as planned. Yeah,
Yeah, that
and
board
why
looks
they don't
really
go as
good.
planned. I'll save that for you to buy and kind of read. But a wrench is thrown into the gears.
Well, if you remember from the first time you were on, there is a villain here who any old school D&D fan
oh yeah
would perhaps recognize the inspiration there. Ty Lix, right? T-Lix?
Yes, Tilixmon. Yep.
Tilixmon.
Yeah, she was obviously one of the inspirations was it Loth. I wanted her to so a lot of the character designs I wanted to make it familiar for D&D players and then easily recognizable as well. So like even for people who maybe don't know who Loth is, it's not that hard to, she must be a drow or a dark elf or something like that, right?
Well, we got you one sale already. Hungar.
Nice. Thank you.
Hungar is on the. Thank you, Hungar.
That's
I appreciate it.
Hungar is flush. Flush with comic, super chat, and booze money.
I don't think I really think you're gonna love it. Like if you guys are having a hard time maybe putting a D&D game together, maybe it's been a long time and you kind of want to have that feeling again. This book will help you feel like you're playing a D&D game again. Like you've got all these first level classes and they're thrown together. All their personalities don't really mix at all. And they have to not only survive the monsters around them, but also each other as they try to figure out what the hell is going on. So it's pretty fun. Uh-oh. Is it just me? Is this where I tap dance? Maybe show off the book a little bit. Yeah. This was the original cover that we did for the last campaign. So a little of the back. Thinking of keeping that back cover. So everybody seemed to like it. Some of the inside art. Got the character art. Maybe show off some pages. For instance, one of my favorites.
There we go.
Oh, you're back.
You guys can hear me now, can't you?
Yes.
I can't hear him.
I was worried for a second.
1 second.
Cannot hear Aaron.
Oh, am I out of it now?
Yeah, sorry guys. StreamYards just went wonky on us for just a moment. Let's see. Can you hear us, Aaron?
Yes, I can hear you.
There we got you back. Yeah. Double D, what I was gonna say was
StreamYards is just fucking.
Did you put a link in the bio?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Link is in the.
And then also, if you scroll up, we also had a super chat in there too.
Oh, yep. Thank you, buddy.
Right there. Oh, my Jiminy Christmas.
Good Lord.
Holy cow.
The man of the hour. Hungar the Starbase, $5. Wait until I release my comic book. Hungar and the Search of the Cheeseburger of Density. Oh, there we go.
Ooh, I like it.
I'll buy that.
Make me one too.
Yeah, thank you for being a professional there through the
Aaron,
the
I'm telling you, I can't stop thinking about this stuff flying off a table at a convention.
Oh, absolutely.
I just
really
picture it.
Yeah.
I just the colors that pop right away, and it has like this, like you said, someone would buy one and been like, give it a little thumb through and been like, oh my God, I'm getting both. I'm gonna get more. Like,
yeah,
I'm you got something here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think so too. I mean, like if you are into D&D at all, I think that you're going to really appreciate the story. And then if you like anime at all, you're going to really
see, that's
love
just
this
it. I was just about to say, and I'm glad that you mentioned that about anime, because there are people who might not give two frogs fat asses about D&D, but they love anime and they could be into it just from that aspect.
Yeah, right.
You're hitting two markets with one product.
Yeah, and it's not. And if you kind of like D&D, but maybe you're not, anime is not your big thing. I don't think the style is it's kind of anime, but it's kind of subdued. I guess I would call it. It's not like over the top. You know,
they refer to it as like a Western anime style. So
yes,
that's
which is perfect for me. Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of prefer that.
If you go back up, I just wanted to point out a couple things. A little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more. Yeah, on the books. Okay, so you have the different floppies. I split the 2 premium books into 2. So each premium book will be 2 floppies, right? So you got number 1, part 1, and number 1, part 2, and then part, okay. And then below that is actually, which you can get on the Everything box, is the Ash Cans. And these are one-shot stories that I did with Jose, the main artist, for like the black and white one. We did, it's a future dystopian kind of story where a nanotech virus has basically killed all humans, and a couple of the last remaining humans go in search of a cure because the girlfriend has contracted the virus. So they go to a skyscraper tower to find the scientist who allegedly had made this virus in the past. So that's their adventure, is to try to uncover a cure for her before it's too late. And then and that one was found in an anthology for Arrow Comics called Out of Obscurity. I think it's 7 pages. So to kind of round out printing, it may be a couple extra pages of maybe some filler art. And then the other Ash Can is Immortal Rising Tales #1. That one was in the Anvil magazine number 2 for like the Iron Age kind of crew. And that one is a story about, it's a one-shot. It's in Immortal Rising, but has nothing to do with the main story. It's just kind of like off to the side. And that one is about a magical warrior who confronts a cult of like vampire worshippers, and finds a child there, or actually he's there to find this child. He finds the child's body, but the soul is missing. And so he must go into the spirit world to find her soul and bring it back. And it's a little easier said than done, as he finds out.
That just happened in our campaign on Friday night.
There you go.
our cleric no more.
I love those little like side world building, like mini stories. Those are awesome. Chris Miller for $10, our good friend, says that he loves the concept and he thinks the art looks great. And he asked, would you consider putting a short recurring story in Mad Scribe magazine? Let's talk after this stream. Mad Scribe is I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a really cool quarterly that Chris does.
I'm interested. Yeah. Find me on Twitter, if anything.
He's Immortal Rising on Twitter, Chris. Just look for Immortal Rising. You'll see it.
Immortal Rising 1. Yeah, and you'll see my little logo thingy. So
yeah,
that sounds great, dude. That'd be fun.
And thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
I've written things for Chris in Mad Scribe. It's a really good publication. He's trying to kind of bring back the old, because it's a print magazine. I mean, I think you can maybe get the PDF, but you can get it delivered to your door, once a quarter, kind of bringing back the old Dragon magazine days.
Yeah, ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah, it does feel good getting something like. I really, really do like it. So
here's another one, Double D.
Oh, another super chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. It's our buddy DM James. Hungar supports your channel more than he does mine. Jealous. That's his brother. This is DM James, the great Yakubian. Thank you, James, for $10. They're really good dudes. Really good dudes. So let's see what we the perk package we have here. So you can get #1 for $10. Man, that is a deal.
And that's 2 floppies, because if I don't know if anybody remembers, last time I was on a few months ago, I was like, I'm trying to go for the $5 floppy, and I think which for me it's basically at cost. The floppies are there for the extra collectability, but also for anybody who is interested but doesn't have a lot of cash. So here you go.
Little starter pack.
Yep.
Yeah.
This to a readable size, I guess. All right, then we have The EB Premium #1.
Yeah.
$20.
What the EB is the early bird. So this
okay.
early bird is still up until I think I'm going to take it down either Friday or Saturday. Probably Saturday after my show on Friday night. And that one has the card for the Empress. It's the Blue Girl cover, the Corey Barton cover, only in card. So I won't be offering that, to anybody else. It's just for the early bird. So
yeah, you do get. I know in the first one, you do get some pretty cool. There's like a couple of stickers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I loaded up on the stickers.
Put that on your kids' lunchbox.
There you go.
That's right.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah.
We got the early bird. This is now #2. So if you already own the first one, you could pick up the second one. I think this might have been the one that I got. Yeah, I think I got this one because I
right
got
on. Thank you.
One of the Jimmy Reyes cover. Yeah.
Dude, I really think you're gonna like it. It's
oh, I know. Yeah, I know I will. Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. It was a fun little story and had a little depth to it, and you can kind of sense the D&D in it too.
Yeah, right.
Even though there's there's a little science fantasy in it, but you could sense the D&D in it.
Yeah. Well, and with the first one, it was like, that's the introduction. So there's going to be some exposition that you're not necessarily, going to think that it matters or anything like that. You're like, okay, I'm in this lived-in world and all this stuff. But everything that I dropped in the first one, none of it is decoration. So all of it will come into play later in the series. So if not in the first arc, which is 3 books. So,
a lot of your stuff, Aaron, says estimated shipping December of 2024.
Yep.
Are you telling me that people would be able to get this as a gift for someone for Christmas and get it there on time?
I believe so. Yeah. So it's already done. All the art is finished. And really, I'm giving it such a leeway in case printing issues come up, things like that. But and also my campaign basically just started like a week ago or whatever. I'm in like a week and a half now. And so I've got the 2 months to kind of drum up the cash, and then I go to print. And then hopefully, shortly after that, within a couple weeks, they'll all be printed. I'll send it off to my fulfillment guy, Critical Blast, and then everybody will have it in time for Christmas. Is the idea.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So yeah,
now, if you want to, if this is all new to you and you're like, yeah, I like the look of this, but I just want 2 books, the least amount. This is probably for you, the $35 bundled. So this is 1 and 2 together.
Yep.
That's probably where you want to be.
Yeah, that's one of the best deals out of the whole bunch. If you're interested, but you don't want everything, I highly suggest the $35 bundle.
Yeah, that'll give you the whole story. Beautifully bound book. It's perfect. Yeah, and then of course, if you really dig what you're seeing, get everything for a hundo.
If you really want to help me out, go for the everything box. So that includes all that you saw, the 2 premiums, the 4 floppies, that comes to like 200 pages, right? Total, plus the 2 ash cans, which is like another 10 a piece or something like that. So 220 pages for $100 and 1 shirt. So I'm offering 2 shirt designs, but you at least guaranteed 1 shirt with the box.
Damn. Well, that is really good. I said, I think 35 is probably, if you're just getting into it, that 35 one is probably the best one. But even that $100 one is boy.
There's a lot there. There's a lot.
There is.
There's
I like
to
the
unpack. I like that.
Look at Sean. He was on the road. Did you say Scranton, Sean? Don't try to text while you're driving, please. But he. Hopefully you pulled over and gifted 5 memberships.
He's multitasking.
He's one of our great supporters.
He's eating cereal. He's freaking texted. He's handing out memberships.
Thank you, Snake Oil Sean.
Very nice.
A couple others.
Yeah, drive safe, dude.
Yeah. Wayne Brock. I don't know if I've seen you before, Wayne. Maybe we have. $10. Thank you. Good to see you. I probably owe you this beer for the glee I get watching you rip into wokeness. Cheer, bro.
Nice.
Well,
that's a good tip.
Hey, look, I rip into it and let the chips fall where they may.
And Cyrus hit you up too.
What's up, Leo? Yes, are signed
available?
copies
Oof.
available?
That's a good question. I haven't been asked for a lot of signed copies. My last campaign, I offered it, and I only got a couple, asking who weren't personal, like knew me in real life kind of stuff. So I am not offering it this time, but I mean, I may change that. If you ask for it, I'm not against it at all. So.
Cyrix, maybe, I don't know, would you do it like kind of off to the side? Would you be able to do that? Like, are you fulfilling this, or is it somebody, are you doing
It's through Critical Blast, who does a lot of fulfillment for a lot of different creators. But all the emails go through me first, and then I send all that to him, and then he crunches the numbers and throws everything together. But if you message me on Indiegogo, say, hey, can I get it signed? I'd be willing to sign it. Sure, not a problem at all.
Yeah, Cyrix is also on Twitter too, so I don't know.
Oh, cool. Yeah, or DM me.
Try to work it out, DM or something. Yeah, see.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and also for all those collectors, or maybe you like it and you're like, maybe you want to offer more than just the $100. I also offer an original version. So this version is actually a remade version, and so the original version was done with a different artist. Before I was good at editing it and all that other stuff. And so that one, I've only printed out 100 of those issues, or that issue. I've got about 80 left, and those are also selling for $100 as well, because it is collectible. It's more for the people who are like, oh, I want extra and I want to contribute more than just the $100 perk tier. And then also on the add-ons is the second shirt design. So you pick the first one, you want an add-on, you want the second shirt, go ahead. It's there.
Yeah, Cyrix says he may get the $100 pack if he can get it signed.
Yes.
So I'm sure Aaron will accommodate you in some
definitely.
way. I think I can speak for him there. So
I mean, I'm here to make fans. People who are interested in my work. That's what I'm here for. Whatever I can do for you.
Hungar wants a signed copy. I just got to reach out to him, guys. Just make it easy on Aaron, because this probably gets complicated. So just make it easy on him.
Yeah.
Just try to, if you're not on Twitter or something, get a hold of him through Indiegogo. Just do something like that. I'm sure he'll take care of you guys as customers.
Definitely.
Sure. Jeff from Canadian, $5. Good to see you, my friend. Question for Aaron: what's your favorite version of D&D and your favorite non-D&D RPGs? Ooh, good question. For that matter, which RPG was used when the story was originally RPG'd out? I think 5th edition.
Ooh,
right? Are you guys in 5th edition?
Or we are not. So my table is stuck in 3.5. That's what we play currently. Right, yeah. That's what we play currently. And then my favorite non-D&D. That's a tough one. I would say I'm not really sure, because there was a couple games that I played one time that I really liked. It was like a 6-sided game. I want to say it was like Scion or something like that, but I may be wrong. That was super fun. Maybe it was just a table I was at, but like the dice and all the options were very easy to go through, and they had what was called exploding dice, which was neat. Like you roll a 6, you keep
magic.
going.
That's magic to Crazy Mouse's ears. He loves exploding dice.
I love exploders.
He's like, whenever we try a new game, he's like, are there exploders in this game?
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. Yeah. Well, it's
addictive when you start seeing, like, what's your damage? 1d6, and I rolled a 53.
Yeah, but he just keeps going. Yeah, he's got
exactly.
the magic hand. Yeah.
Well, we did for that game, we did a like a Power Rangers themed game, which was super fun. It was super fun. And yeah, I of course had to be the Black Ranger, who was actually black. And I was into motorcycles, and I was mechanical, and I don't know. It was super fun though. Yeah. And then
Doc Flamingo, 1 membership. Thank you, Doc. And also Mercurius. Thank you. Also.
Hey, what's up, Mercurius? I saw you earlier. But yeah, and then this story was actually role played out using 2nd edition. So that was that's how long ago that this took place. So
2nd edition.
Yes.
Well, I have a fondness for that, because that's when they came out with Birthright. That's was that we're still running that campaign world. 2nd edition. It doesn't get a lot of love rules wise, but it's just so crazy that all of these cool settings came out in 2nd edition, and then it's like almost none after. I mean, Eberron. Yeah, I could
the
probably take or
90s,
leave that.
the early 90s for D&D, like mod or campaign settings. Gosh, like all the good stuff came out of that. You know,
That's when all the music came out too. Pearl Jam
yeah,
sound,
yeah.
all that Seattle sound.
Yeah, it was kind of like a creative, wellspring during that time. I don't know what it was.
Really was.
About it, but damn, yeah, a lot of good shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because technology didn't catch up to shit, so people weren't on their phones and Google all day long. They were thinking of shit.
Yeah, no
That's
TikTok
why.
brain.
Yeah,
you may be right.
TikTok brain, yeah, that's for sure.
TikTok brain.
What, like, as an indie comic creator, what do you think is like one of the biggest, I guess, like challenges you face as an indie creator?
Assholes. There's a lot of assholes out there.
like are you talking like in the fan base or in the industry, or both? Or?
Just other creators. There's a lot of it can be very high schooly. Between artists. I don't know if you guys have ever encountered that kind of thing, but whisper networks and mean girl shit. I don't know.
Before I started up my channel, I was a big follower of Comicsgate, and so I got to see kind of all the drama, even, and that was a couple of years ago, and now it just seems like it's amped up to like 11, and I'm just like, I remember I was actually on Inappropriate Characters very early on, because my channel kind of took off pretty quickly. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, and I remember being asked the question, like, what do you think are, some of the things to watch out for in this end, the tabletop role playing sphere. And I'm like drama, it's just like all this high school drama. And like, we're going to touch on some of that in just a few moments here when we talk about the Shadowdark thing. $2 from Disco Barbarian. It's because a lot of artists never grow up. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Sometimes talent and maturity are inverse, shall we say.
But, and not to say that, it's all terrible at all. I'm having such a good time creating. Like, this is such a great outlet for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind it so bad.
What advice would you give anybody looking to do what you're doing?
My advice, if you were to get into making your own indie comic, I would say, one of the things that I wish that I had done when I first started is I wish I had learned things like Photoshop. I had no graphic experience at all. And actually, one of the reasons that this one took me longer than I had anticipated was because I took about 4 months or so to learn Photoshop from my buddy Chris Fisk, who does Infinitale Comic, which I think I saw on your YouTube reel there. Anyways, he worked in games, like video games, graphics and stuff like that. So I trapped him. I put him in a headlock and I was like, look, dude, you're going to teach me Photoshop. And so, that's what we did. We spent a few months off, between working overtime, having a family and everything else. I learned enough Photoshop to put together my campaign. And not only that, but it's not just the ability to go in and edit the campaign and stuff. I can go into the comic itself and, move balloons around, change dialogue, to make it a little better. Because once you see it actually printed, it affects it very differently. You're like, oh, okay, aesthetically, the flow, all of that stuff matters. And if you don't have the power of control to go in and move things around to where you like it, it's really inhibiting. On this one, I was able to go in and change things around and things like that. So it's very empowering to do that.
Well, it's not only like Photoshop, not only for what you do, but I would give that same advice for YouTubers, believe it or not, because if you want your channel to grow, you need subscribers, and the only way you get subscriber growth in YouTube is by making canned videos. You don't get it through live streams. They make it very difficult purposely.
Live streams, I always picture Double D, like your videos bring in some new viewers. Your live streams are the way to connect with the viewers you have.
Yes. Yeah. I would recommend both to kind of have a good successful
because in
channel,
fairness, everyone in
build a
this
fan
chat
base.
is probably already subscribed.
Well,
if they're not
Right.
divers, I'd
Yeah,
like
please.
for you to
Yeah,
go
please do.
subscribe and hit that like button.
Yeah.
But,
Anything.
but like I think this is our chance to reach out and talk to these people.
Yep. But as the Black Lodge guys say, they're not the only ones, but they kind of do it in this sphere. They're like, look, thumbnails are really important. You can make a good thumbnail in Photoshop or, like a photo, even if it's like one of those free Photoshop pieces of software.
Yeah.
But you can't just say like, oh, I'm just going to throw up a picture or whatever. It's like, it makes a difference. Like you'd be shocked, but it makes a difference with people. Patrick Demo, $10. I've been told by other artists that I have no business calling myself an artist. You're a good artist, Patrick. Also been told the same thing about being a game designer. I know the high school mean girl crap well. You are
what I'm talking about.
A good guy. Yeah. Patrick
Solid
is a
dude.
really. I got to meet Patrick at Gen Con.
Yeah.
A couple earlier
Nice.
this month actually.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy. So
Good
is his
dude.
wife. Yeah.
Good dude.
Yep. Chris Miller asked for $2. Are you part of the Iron Age movement? Is that Razor Fists? Is that kind of his deal?
Yeah.
or-
So when he, they say that he coined it, and that was the first time I heard of it. Then later on, I've heard, oh, well, no, it was Peter Samedi said it or whatever. But like, yeah, he's the one that kind of popularized the term Iron Age. And when I heard that, I was like, awesome, let's do it. And so I started hashtagging Iron Age and interviewing, the Iron Age authors, which at the time was mostly like novel writers. Like they were just, they're writing their books and stuff. So if they were into fantasy, I'd bring them on the show and we'd talk about it. And just trying to build bridges, between Iron Age and Comicsgate. And back when things weren't so feudy, they weren't constantly feuding, which they seem to be a lot now because of the Rippaverse controversy or whatever. So unfortunately, it's a rough seas right now as far as Iron Age and Comicsgate. But I consider myself both. Like, to me, you can call them movements, but really it helps to market, like, okay, I'm looking for this type of creator. Great. I'm familiar with Iron Age and Comicsgate. So that's why I'm going to market to both.
It is kind of sad when you see, I guess for lack of a better word, you call it like your own side, like fragmenting, into all these little, petty squabbles and duchies and I'm over here, I'm over here,
The tribalism
like
is ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's like, guys, there's a lot of money to be made. Let's,
well, like for instance, when I sorry to interrupt, when I jumped in front of a train, when I confronted Eric July, and
I remember that.
It was like I lost friends online friends, right? Acquaintances who did not agree with me kind of stepping up in front of Eric July like that for somebody else that I thought was a friend, and they were Iron Age guys, so it's like, well, shit, why is that? Like Eric July is just one dude. No. You see, the Friday Night Tights guys took over, a lot of the Iron Age kind of accolades and all this other stuff. Well, that's not the way it was when I started, when I started interviewing people and having them on my show, and somehow it was all subverted. And now, because myself, I don't like the Friday Night guys. I think that, not to like bash on them too much, but it's like they offer a lot of despair, which we don't need in this atmosphere right now. And it's
you
like
need all alternatives or options, which guys like you are providing. Yeah,
exactly. It's like you can whine and cry. I get it. I did it too. But eventually, a man asks for, well, how do we get out of this? What are the solutions? And that's not they keep the mentality from progressing over to what are the solutions. They say, no, Aaron, that's totally not true, because they constantly promote themselves and they constantly promote, Razor Fist and Eric July. Like, yeah, but there's literally 1,000 other guys out there who are probably more talented, or at least offer other things other than just what Razor Fist has and what Eric July has.
Yeah.
So why not also talk about them? Sure, complain about the Acolyte, that's fine, but then spend 5 minutes or less just highlighting anything that is in the indie sphere.
Yeah, I think there's probably room for both, because look, people, you say that, you know, they offer despair, you know, and it's in some ways that's kind of the the entertainment world that we live in right now. It's pretty bleak in some respects. So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with commiserating a little bit. But if that's all you do, that's does tend to get old. Yeah, it's like even in my channel, I'm trying to. If you look at my last several videos, I'll pump out one about, you know, the WotC art and, you know, the low hanging fruit that I know people are, you know, going to enjoy.
Sure.
You know, it's like I'm trying to like kind of like get not away from that completely, but like my last video was about the, you know, Castles and Crusades, you know, which is our house system. Good, good solid rule set. You know, I want to do a little bit more of that. I just got to try to find a way to kind of present it to where, you know, people aren't going to be like, oh, geez, you know, this is the only kind of content he's doing. It's like, no, I'll still call Wizards of the Coast out because it's fun, you know. And you know, they are retards, but it's like if that's all you do, people will tune you out. Like to your point, the only Friday night guy I really kind of never really liked was Az. I mean, I don't mind those guys, but then again, I kind of like sat back and I should say I do like Razor Fist. I think Razor Fist is a really good YouTuber.
Me too.
But I can't tell you the last time I watched a Friday Night Tights or one of Gary's videos.
Right.
Nerdrotic.
I can't.
It's been so long.
It's like, oh, Star Wars is dead. It's like, okay, I know you said that 6 years
It's
ago.
funny you just said Star Wars because someone just wrote. We'll get to that super chat in one second, but here's the Star Wars one.
Yeah, talking Star Wars. It dies after Rogue One, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So there you go.
Yep.
So then you say, okay, what is an alternative? You know, maybe it's in the same, you know, the same aesthetic or something, you know, and like, well, there is something. Like, for instance, my co-host on our show on Fridays, it's the Friday nights, right? And my co-host has a whole series. He's like on issue 5 or something. It's called Soul Tack. You know, the whole idea was supposed to be like futuristic kind of galaxy with aliens and stuff like that, and lived in and all that whole stuff. So there are creators out there who are trying to give those things that that others feel that is missing. You know, they're there. They're there. And unfortunately, they don't get the platform.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Disco Barbarian, $10. Thank you, buddy. Most of those guys have been attacked from so many vectors that the reflex is to fight back, and they forget who really needs to be fought sometimes. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. You know, on our side, in the kind of like a parallel, I guess, in ours, I mean, just as kind of, I don't want to say an outside observer because sometimes I've been drawn into it, but like someone like the basic expert, like he did get attacked out of the blue. Well over, I think it was like a year ago, maybe. Was it 2
Oh
years
yeah,
ago?
I remember that.
Yeah, from RPG Pundit, and it's like, you know, at the time, like it did cause a rift. And look, behind the scenes, I ripped into Pundit too, you know, and I stepped away from a commitment from him over what he did, but I also didn't want to create a bunch of drama, so I kind of kept it low key.
Sure.
You know, and then he did it again, and you know, and then I think John, the basic expert, kind of got upset because he's like, I think he was thinking like, why aren't you publicly?
Oh,
you know, in my corner, and I'm like, look, it's like I'm a 50-something-year-old guy. Like I don't want to do this internet drama. I really don't. I sincerely do want to get along with everybody, and I still try to. There's very few people that I just don't like in this sphere. Everybody else, it's like, I understand I may not be perfect, but God, I hope we can fucking, you know, see eye to eye, maybe do a little business, make a little money, you know, that's just what it's all about. Like, you don't have to like love everybody. Like Mike S. Miller, you know, it reminds me of him, like stepping away from Ethan Van Sciver just for like spite's sake.
Yeah.
And it's like, he put so much money on the table when all he had to do was just bite his lip every time he got invited on and just learn how to live with Ethan.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, instead he's like, oh, well, I took a moral stance. Well, it's like, good, you're fucking poor, you know.
Yeah, bye.
And it's like all you had to do was just suck it up and just deal with Ethan, you know, who probably did sincerely like having you on his streams, but
yeah,
there are times you need to take a moral stance on things that you need to make a moral decision on.
Yeah,
but that's pure ego.
That's what it is most of the time. I mean, I'm sure it was a little bit like, when Pundit attacked, and then like I said, and then I think maybe it's a little bit like when John like lashes out because he doesn't think enough people are supporting. It's like I'm just watching it from both, and I'm like, could we just all just fucking
when they come and repo your car, just say, hey, but I took a moral stance. That repo man, he'll probably agree with you and drop it. Yeah.
So I will say this though. I will say this that I have not heard anybody ever badmouth this show or you or anything like that for anything. So you must be doing okay.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I don't, like I said, I don't like in John's case. I don't think it's like he hates me or anything like that. I think he's just probably like disappointed, and it's like.
Well, not only that, but
he does know I stood up for him like early on. Like I just, I didn't like, trumpet it, but I did, like I said, I did back away from a commitment on his behalf. Just quietly just said, you know what, because you did this, I'm just going to step aside. But afterward, I also didn't want to be at eternal war with Pundit because look, Pundit's been good to me. He's been good to the channel. So I'm like, look, I want to be civil, with everybody.
Switzerland.
I don't want anything.
So help you Switzerland. Yeah. Thraxis $2. We need Bruckheimer's Riffs movies. Ooh, there you. Was he going to do Riffs movies? That sounds interesting. Thank you, Thraxis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's probably a good segue. But before we do segue, one last time.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, go ahead. There he is. Hey, John, how you doing? Yeah, I didn't ever think you did, John. And in some ways, I do understand your frustration. I hope you can understand my point of view that I'm too old to like go to war every day on the internet. Like I did that in the early 2000s on a message board that a couple guys in the chat were on. And it's like, I don't want to do that every time I log into Twitter and just, and like I said, and he gets, and you know what? I know it. Look, I like Ryan David. A lot of these guys don't like Ryan David. Ryan David's been good to me. I like talking with Ryan, but I see like Ryan David he'll poke someone like Basic Expert. He'll poke Patty. Like and I wish he wouldn't do that because then it gets John worked up and he's on his villain arc now, and it's like it's just so crazy, and I'm just like it's like the cycle continues.
They wanted war. They drew first blood.
Exactly.
They drew first blood, not me.
That's a good one. They do first blood. Patrick Demo, $5. I noticed in even our little RPG sphere, some of us can be real a-holes to each other, and it's all over some very retarded crap. It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, hopefully, we can put some of that aside here. Pundit called the Basic Esper, and yeah, exactly. And while he had a game in Kickstarter, he could have easily caused financial damage. Also, the layer sucks joke. Yeah, thank you, James.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Look, you will not hear me defend any of what Pundit did. Sitting. You're not a Yahtzee for sitting down with somebody who just thinks differently than you.
I mean, isn't that like a lefty SJW tactic?
Yes,
to
it is.
Call people names
so
like
tiring.
That? I don't know.
It's like just talk to her. I almost, part of me almost wants to have Jeffro on just to break the cherry and just be like, you know what, fuck it. We'll just do it. We'll sit down. You guys know I'm not a fucking whatever. Because look, I mean, I've defended the Israel at times, even though it's not perfect. I'm not. Yeah. I don't get into all the the hate for them.
Yeah.
So look, maybe it's like only Nixon going to China. Maybe I'm the only one that can interview Jeffro. So
look, have Jeffro on, and then just kind of step back and watch the glow from the nuclear bomb that goes off, and it'll be great. Yeah. Be a good view.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be clear, because I see pundits here, like Pundit, look, I like you, Pundit. You know that. I've had you on. I've promoted your stuff. I've had John on. I've promoted his stuff. Let's just stop fucking everybody. Let's just stop fucking going after each other for just petty stuff, and let's just make some let's make some money. Let's make some fans.
Let's have a good time. How about that?
It's such a waste of energy. All this bullshit, man. It's fun. You get a vicarious thrill, but before you know it, instead of like spending time with your family or like working on projects, you've been on Twitter for 3 hours and you don't even realize it.
Having a grudge match with the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like
Double D dinner's getting cold.
Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, come on. It's like I know some people might live for that, but I fucking don't. Like I want peace.
Yeah.
Disco Barbarian, $5. Do we really need another interview about square dancing?
I agree.
Swing dancing, not square dancing.
What?
dancing.
Who did
It's,
the swing dancing?
It's Jeffro. Jeffro
Okay.
Johnson. Yeah, he's a guy we poked some gentle fun at in the past. I think a lot of it is performative on his part. Yeah, he has a few
he seems like a
spicy
character. Yeah.
He is, yeah. And he's DM'd me on Twitter. He's like, come on, dude. He's like, when are we gonna do it? When are we gonna do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe soon I will.
There we go.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Ultra American, $10. On one side, we got the Sparkle Trolls, on the other, we got the Grog Tards, and then there's me, the normal folks, stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to play a fucking game and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. I always thought, like, coming into this,
Clowns to the left of me.
Jokers
To the
right. Yeah, you're right.
I just quoted that to Rogan in a text message like 2 days ago.
And it's like, when I walked into this, I'm like, okay, full speed ahead. We're all going after like WotC, people who actually despise their fans. We're going after Paizo, who's not much better, and in some cases worse. Green Roan and all these Seattle companies who are so far out of touch. You know, I look back and it's like everybody's, slapping each other, doing the three Stooges thing instead. Like, Jesus, dude. Like, I mean, let's just fucking enough. It's a hobby of characters, some more than others. Yeah, yep, for sure.
Yeah, the tribalism. Oh my gosh, the egos and the cowardice will kill whole genres. So it's unfortunate. You just got to stay to it. You got to stick your ground and keep moving forward.
Yep, for sure. So, guys, remember, Immortal Rising is. Immortal Rising 2, I should say, is the Indiegogo campaign. It's Aaron's creation, second edition. You can pick up the first one. The link is in the description of this live stream. It's on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
You can just
Thank
type
you.
in Immortal Rising IGG. You'll find it.
Yep.
So I'll leave it up to you, Aaron. I'm going to move on now to just we're going to talk about Shadowdark and all
That's
that
fine.
stuff.
It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse.
You can sit around and chime in if you so desire, and just just hang around. That is fine with me. And I may open it up. I may put the link in the chat for people that maybe want to come in and give theirs. And just to be clear, it's going to be on Shadowdark. Okay, no retard fights. Okay, I'm not interested in like picking up retard fights.
Yeah.
For this, I will yeet you like quickly. So if you
no
have something
screaming
to say
Yahtzee.
Yes, nothing along those lines, please.
Well, listen, I will gratefully step aside. Thank you so much, Dee. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, buddy. Yeah,
everybody,
anytime. You're always welcome here.
Everybody in the chat and everything. If you're looking for a great, unique comic, fantasy oriented, nothing else is out there like this at all. It probably never will be after this. So get in on the ground floor. I'm just starting. I've got a series ready to go. This is a brand I'm trying to kind of raise in this market, and I think that you're going to love it. If you play D&D, all of this will feel familiar, even though it's a completely new setting and world. So come help a brother out and back me up.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Yeah,
let's get it done.
All right.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Have a good night, guys. See you around.
Don't forget to, Aaron, don't forget to hook up with Chris wants to talk to you about that magazine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also those people want about your
signatures,
autograph.
yeah.
We want
right
some
on.
autographs. Merch.
So my right. What happened? Where did that come from? So my DMs are open on Twitter, Immortal Rising 1, and that's the number 1. So
there you go.
Shouldn't
Easy
be
to
too
find.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, hit up my my YouTube. It's Immortal Rising comic book. You'll find all that on there too. Plus, I do interviews and stuff. We're having a good time over there. So come check me out. Sub me and all that other stuff. And all right, all right. I'll get out of here.
Free, everybody.
That's right.
Care,
and it helps. See you guys.
All right, take care.
Bye, Aaron.
All righty.
All right, Double. We got
great
got
Yakubian.
We got
DM James. I am part of the Yakubian tribe. $2.
Okay, there's that one. We got
all right.
another one.
You set him up, I'll knock him down. How's that?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yep.
Says Leo. Thank you, Cyrix. Disco Barbarian, $2. Darn, puts the retard that away. Yeah, I'm on now. Yeah, I'm on now. And friend Patrick Demo, retard fights are already upon your chat, Double D. Well, I can't patrol that while I'm doing the show, but like I said, let's just
Kumbaya, everybody.
yeah, kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
All right.
Chris, absolutely. I got your back, yo.
All right. So let's talk. Let's talk Shadowdark.
Let's talk one thing before Shadowdark.
All right. One sec. Go ahead.
Is there any point where you guys have gone back and thought about something that you did in a campaign, no matter what game it is? It was like, damn, I wish I would have done that differently. And there's one I'm having a hard time living with. It's in Rogan's game. We had to break a spell of like a mesmerized group with song. And it was around Halloween. So I picked the music to the movie Halloween, that piano riff.
Yes. We're talking Tales from the Loop here.
Tales from the Loop. And the setting is in the early 80s, I believe like 84-ish.
Yeah.
And I kick myself every time. This is set in a high school. We're teenagers. We had access to like the props department and the music department. And I always say we should have dressed up as Van Halen and just did Jump. And the reason it came up today was I was taking Derek Mouse to work and Jump came on the radio.
Ooh.
Which is now
reopen that friend
40 years old.
Is that something?
Jump is 40 years old. The moment that first hit of the synthesizer, everyone in the world knows what song is coming next. And I said to Derek, that is when you know you've made a great song. When 40 years later, people who weren't even close to being born yet know exactly the song they're doing.
Yeah.
And I always think back as, man, I messed up that decision in that campaign. I picked, because it was Halloween, I was thinking of Michael Myers and all this other stuff. But man, I should have picked Jump. And we could have came out dressed and started kicking and dancing like Jump, like Van Halen.
Even Thriller would have been good.
Yeah. I don't know. I like that Jump.
Well, I'll just say it Halloween. Yeah. But I'm not saying it would have been better than Van Halen. Yeah. No, yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
That one thing that sticks in your crow about that game like years ago. Man.
Yep.
Man. I wish I could have done. Oh, man.
Let us know in the chat. Let's see.
Edgelord said he hears Jump. He thinks of, I was playing Palace of the Silver Princess.
Ooh, yeah. Well, Crazy Mouse always says when he used to play, they used to put on Dire Straits' Sultans of Swing. So sometimes I'll throw that on just for his benefit. It's a good song too. All right. So let's. Oh my Lord. The Tomb. Shadowdark. All right. So sometimes I like having you guys here because you're not involved in a lot of this stuff. So I kind of have to reset it for you guys, which means I'm probably resetting it for people who might not know what's going on. So last week, our good friend Venger Satanis was on. He's having his final Kickstarter, as I learned the day after. He has an RPG, how to run Chaltish games. But he announced right afterward that that's going to be his final product, at least for a little while, in the Chaltverse. Of course, we wish him the best of luck. Now, he pointed out there's a lot of factors. Many of them just money-wise. He's not making nearly the money that he used to.
Well, his wife's upset about his basement full of books.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's some of the stuff he's selling. All right, so this was part of his statement on his site. And he's, talking about the reasons. Sure, I could point a tentacle at our shitty economy. The quote-unquote OSR is dying, folks. Politics, culture war stuff, which may or may not have led to online retailers and crowdfunding sites censoring and stealth banning via the almighty algorithm. Yep. We saw what they did to the Red Room, so that's certainly possible. The current necessity of slick marketing campaigns anointed by establishment-approved YouTubers / he's calling it he's calling that the shadow darking of our hobby. Various forces and personalities, et cetera, where everything is geared towards the lowest common denominator, tourists, and infused with socialism and soy. I'm not sure I'd agree with that. Not everything is that way. Wizards of the Coast, skull fisting the bejesus out of D&D like Disney's done with Star Wars. I would agree with that. Or my own stubborn, arrogant notion that I make what I want the way I want, and that's just how it is.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Chris Miller, $2. Shadow darking equals gentrification. LOL. We shall see. So a lot to unpack there. So first of all, is it true, the shadow darking of our hobby? For those of you that don't know, Kelsey Dione is the young lady who did Shadow Dark. Kind of came out of nowhere a couple years ago with this campaign, and it was getting pushed. You know, I know she was on like a lot of the shows that we sometimes will, gently chide. Like maybe like Bob talked about it. I'm pretty sure Professor Dungeon Master did. Maybe you guys can tell me, did the questing midget, did he have her on? Or did she have to pay for it? Maybe she paid for it. I think everybody has to pay to play on his channel. So it was getting a big push. So people were like, "Hey, what is this game? Who is this? Who is this woman? It's a 20-something-year-old woman, making what was kind of termed like an OSR game. Sure looks like an OSR game. Kind of came out of nowhere. Well, as we all know, it did gangbusters. Couple $1 million. And people were legitimately excited for it. Did it rub some people who had been toiling away at the hobby the wrong way? I'm sure it did. And I'm not one of those people, so I can't speak for them, and I can't say maybe I wouldn't have some of the same reactions. I know I would probably try not to, because I think that is at its core envy, which is, to me, is the worst of that is one of the 7 deadly sins, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Envy is, yes.
To me, that's the worst, because that's the one that can do the most damage as a whole. Well, I mean, why do you think things like socialism and communism end up so horribly? It's because it's built on envy. These rich people have what I want, so I'm going to take it from them, and that it's pretty soon you're trying to take things from your neighbor, and stuff like that. So I know I would try at least to not be that way. Now, would I succeed? Who knows? But you got to hand it to her, because this book did well.
Very well.
Now I have a little bit of an advantage over some of the people, talking about this on Twitter. I've actually played this game. I have not run it, but thanks to Sirix DX in the chat, I got to play this. Ironically enough, at VentureCon of all places. And it was overall a pretty good experience. Generally, I like the game. Do I love it? I wouldn't say I love it, but I like it. Is it as inspiring to me as, something like even like Castles and Crusades? No, not in the end. It may not be quite as slick. Castles and Crusades might not be quite as slick as this, but I like Castles and Crusades better. Hell, I think DCC is even has a little bit more life to it than Shadowdark. Having said that, Shadowdark is a perfectly fine game. If you wanted to, this is a really good convention game. I'm not sure how long it would how it would be as far as like a campaign, like a long-term campaign. I'd have to see, but this is a really good campaign game, or I'm sorry, a convention game. It seems almost tailor-made for it, actually. Kelsey had big success with writing 5e adventures on DM's Guild prior to Shadowdark. She didn't come out of nowhere. That's fair enough. Yeah. I guess maybe out of nowhere certainly is unfair. And thank you for correcting me there. Maybe a little bit out of nowhere from like the OSR people's point of view, maybe. I was not involved in the, like the DM's Guild stuff. Even when we were playing 5e, I just wasn't doing that. All right. So,
before you get to that, buddy.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yep. Patrick Demo, $10. I'll admit I'm a little envious of the success. Yeah. But I can say good on them for their success, except MCDM. Screw that. Yeah. They took money without even having a direction for their podcast. Yeah. I think you can legitimately criticize, like MCDM. Yeah, because it is a bit of I don't want to say a scam, but good Lord, it's really unprofessional.
If it looks like snake oil and it's in a bottle like a snake oil, he's probably selling snake oil.
Yeah.
Mac and Jack.
But look, when somebody's just, all right. So all right. So hold on. I'm going to remove this for a second. I'm going to show you something. Okay. Because this book garnered a lot of talk, shall we say. And
did it clean up at the thing at Gen Con?
It did. Yeah. It won 4 awards.
Oh, we got a whole bunch. We got a press pod. We got something big here.
Ooh, oh, hey, Cyrix. Yeah, Cyrix was my DM at VentureCon for this. Buy a copy for Rogan and Crazy Mouse. I gave away a book to one of the players. If OSR 0E, 1E, 2E players enjoyed it, anyone can play it, from newbies to 40-year-old grognards. Exactly. Actually, Rogan did get his copy at Gen Con.
Signed.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Leo. Cyrix
awesome.
DX. Yeah.
Thank you,
he's a good dude.
Very generous.
Good DM too. He ran this game well. I liked it a lot. I think even my Mrs. D liked it even more because he ran like a part 2. Now I had commitments because I wanted to get into as many games as possible at VentureCon. Yeah, Mrs. D loved part 2. She loved the group that we started in, and they finished up in. So it's a really good experience. All right, so maybe it is kind of just best to kind of go through what's been happening. So I think there's always been this kind of undercurrent of people who always looked a little askew at the success of Shadowdark and Kelsey. And maybe they have a point as far as like, oh, it was getting pushed. But I will say this, the channels, if you're in our neck of the woods, the channels that it was getting pushed on, look, they ain't our people anyway. I mean, I know there's some crossover with Professor DM because he's a little bit more neutral, but like, look, everybody in the chat makes fun of Bob, Ginny D, the questing midget. Those aren't our people. So it's like they're not taking OSR sales by going on those channels, I don't think. LOL, did Venger just become Obi-Wan? Maybe. Chris Miller, $10. Kelsey is a smart, well-mannered young woman who at least is not a tourist. Exactly. I think Shadowdark is an okay game. Of course it is. It's D&D. Exactly. But did it deserve every award at Gen Con? No, probably not. And look, and Chris has made good games. Like Angkor is a really good game. And I know it breaks Chris's heart that he wanted it to go over like gangbusters, like Shadowdark. Shadowdark has been propped up by the woke pop culture. Yeah, I mean a little bit, but I got news for you. Cyrix DX, I've known for 24 years. He ain't woke. Me and him were battling wokes before it was cool in 2002.
Before it was woke.
Yeah, before it was even woke, we were fighting that together, shoulder to shoulder. Maybe it's been propped up a little bit by those folks. The Ennies won't allow straight white males to win. So who is her real competition? Don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess. In some respects, yeah, Chris, and thank you so much. You're being very generous. Let me just say about the Ennies. I know the people who run the Ennies. They're not... One of them, believe it or not, me and Cyrix DX have known for a very long time, as long as we've known each other. They're not as liberal as you may suspect. I'll just leave it at that. But keep in mind, they're like the finger up into the winds. We have to realize we're in the minority here. That's right. The U-boat will never sink. Yep. Rogan knows. Yep. Hell yeah, brother. We just have to realize, look, we're a minority right now. Do we like it? No. Do we want it to change? Of course. But woke is winning right now in gaming. I mean, it's just reality. What are you talking about? A straight white Catholic male one in any? Which one was that, Matt? Straight white male Catholic. I can't remember who. I didn't pay attention much to the any listing while I was there. I just know Shadowdark won for. Perhaps Kelsey used her trichology powers to get the big sales.
Well, when
perhaps
when talking with our friend from the past that's involved in nannies, they had the display of all the books that were involved that were up, and there was some really good stuff there.
Yeah, I can't recall any of them because I was more interested in just kind of reconnecting with him and talking. Yeah. Matt, put in there who you were referring to, and then put it up when he does, if you would, Crazy Mouse. All right, so I think when Venger brought it up, it kind of like brought to the surface, like, oh look, Venger's talking about it, now I can too. So I think a lot of people just kind of said like, thank God somebody said what I've been thinking. You're going to see a lot more than I do in this regards. However, in this case, I believe the answer is that Venger retired from the hobby and pointed out that Shadowdark is sucking all the oxygen out of the formerly independent OSR, and that a cottage game designer can't compete with their slick presentation and marketing acumen, which shouldn't be a controversial statement, but somehow common sense is again something worth fighting over. Ironically, Venger has now achieved the influence in virtual death that he sought in virtual life. People who formerly talked shit are now rallying to his banner, which leads one to ask, Venger, did you put a whammy on the OSR on your way out? A hoodoo, a jinx, an Indian sign. Okay. So then we have Basic Expert coming in, calling the OSR cringe.
Hold on, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, yes. That is completely boy. I feel ashamed of myself, Matt. Thank you. Yes, Gods of the Forbidden North. Yep, Paul Pumick. Yep. Yeah, the really good dude. Really good dude. Yes. Gods of the Forbidden North. Thank you, Matt, for pointing that out. Yeah, I'd almost completely forgotten that. Like I said, Gen Con was such a swirl that I think I had seen that and was like, oh, right on. And then somehow it got lost in the shuffle. So, yeah. So, look, people vote on the awards for the Ennies. The things get nominated, things get voted. And there's no, I don't think there's like an orchestrated campaign by the Ennies people themselves, let's just say. I think they take what they get and then they put it out for vote. Like I said, I don't want to get into it too much, but I do know the couple that are in charge of it. And like I said, they're awfully nice people. They are really, really nice people. And like I said, you might be surprised that they might not be as woke as you may think they are. That's all I'll say. But anyway, so this happened. This is all happening within the last couple of days. Venger puts it out there, the shadow darking of the hobby. All right, well, that leads Basic Expert. He's on his villain arc right now. The OSR is cringe. She wrote the game from her parents' basement, did the layout herself, and paid out of pocket for art. These idiotic negative contributors to the hobby add nothing to this hobby. They prove every criticism the woke said about them is true. I've been done with this section of the hobby for a while. The OSR can't die soon enough, honestly, because I've seen not just this guy, but many and even other creators in it voice this bullshit. Behavior like this is why wedgies and being shoved in lockers is a thing. James, you great Yakubian $5. Yeah, Cthulhu Fatagan. Boy, you love making me trip over my words. Fanuli, Magula, Cthulhu Riley, Waran, Fatagan. That one's for my boy Avenger. Yes. So
You okay, Double D?
bless you. A little.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. I'll do anything for $5. All right. So obviously, John, the basic expert, is on Kelsey's side. And, this, again, I kind of talked about it earlier. Would he be on Kelsey's side as much if this whole thing with Pundit hadn't started and we started kind of infighting amongst ourselves? It's kind of it is a little entertaining. I understand, but here's the M. Night Shyamalan twist. I think Pundit and the basic expert are pretty much on the same page on this one. John again, adds, this is in response to the Red Room, who, they don't like the Shadowdarking either because, they got yeeted off of Drive-Thru-RPG, which sucks. And I really would encourage you to support the Red Room. They are him and Sylvia are really good people. I have a couple of their books, a couple PDFs. I have their Western game. I can't speak for other people, says Miguel. I'd never recommend Shadowdark to anybody, not because Shalt and other OSR products are the only option, but because I systematically refuse to give money to the woke. The author may be quiet about it, but she's an American millennial. And I think you can probably guess the rest there. 99 cents super sticker. Thank you, James. Much appreciated. From the brim to the dregs, we love it all. From stem to stern, soup to nuts, as they say. Thank you all. You guys are all being very generous tonight with your super chats. I do appreciate it. All right, so to Miguel, and Pundit has done stuff for Miguel. Pundit says, look, if a person fits all the woke demographics but never says anything woke, are they really woke? I agree 100%. John then adds also, and he's actually replying to Pundit here, the hobby's not a zero-sum game. To claim that Shadowdark is sucking the oxygen out of the hobby and from other creators is stupid commie gobbledygook. I don't agree with John kind of painting the OSR, with one brush, because I guess I'm sort of OSR, still. And I agree with him here, though. And he is right. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. You got to build a better mousetrap. Yeah, Jeff from Dankar, $5. John and Pundit agreeing on something. Excuse me, but I need to see if the local pig population is flying. Yeah, I saw that too, and I'm like, oh shit. Go ahead, we'll grab that one here. Merlin, $1.99. People glazing shitter dork is cringe all throat. Well, I don't know if it's glazing so much as just people kind of just saying like it doesn't deserve like the hate. I think there's a few people glazing it. I think there's a few people hating it out of envy, and I think there's a lot of people in the middle who are like, it's a fine game. I think that's probably most people. Cyrix for $5. It's so sad that people who fawn over other writers cannot separate the art from the artist. See Zach and Raggy. Yes, exactly. Yes. And look, Pundit, he may have even had a run-in with her at some point. But even he's saying, like, look, if she's not woke, if she's not saying woke stuff, and she doesn't say woke stuff, then who cares what she thinks? I got news for you. A lot of the people you bought shit for over the years in the 90s before Twitter was invented, probably commies too. You just didn't know about it. Maybe it's better that way. But it's even better and more laudable when you can be that way and you choose not to, and you choose to be professional, which Kelsey has done. So I don't think it's necessarily like, being a simp or anything like that. It's just, look, what kind of a hypocrite would I be if I railed at Wizards of the Coast for the last 2 years saying, keep your fucking opinions about white men to yourselves and just, start make good games and sell them. And then someone keeps their opinions to themselves, makes a decent game and sells it. And then all of a sudden I'm going to be like, well, but you shouldn't buy it because, she's from Wisconsin and, Madison, and she's probably, probably a socialist. Who knows? Probably is. Guess what? The fact that I don't know says something. Eden's $20. I think Shadowdark is popular because it appealed to new and young players. For the simple fact, it is new. Millennials and younger buy the new thing because, well, it's the new thing. They look down on old video games, movies, art. Yes, they're probably tired of hearing people like me. I understand that. I get it. My audience skews old, and that's fine. Those are the people I want to talk to. But there's a lot of people out there, and it's not always like don't think bad people either. Like people like I've heard people like the Wonky, who we love, the artist. Him and Ryan Howard talking like, hey, like we're trying to make our own thing here. We love, that all this stuff happened in the 80s and all that, but we weren't alive back then. We got to do our own thing. Gotta understand that time marches on. Envy is stupid, James. Thank you. Yeah. Let's, Chris Miller, I don't hate Kelsey, nor do I hate Shadowdark, but I find her success in sweeping awards suspect. I don't think she had anything to do with it, by the way. Yeah. Look, maybe people on the left smelled one of their own. But look, if she ain't saying it, that's just smart business, isn't it? Let me tell you one. All right, so maybe I can finish this up here. At least the slide portion here. All right, so essentially you have John and Pundit agreeing over something. So maybe that if you still, kind of hate Shadowdark and, are really envious of Kelsey, maybe just think about things differently, because it leads to something like this. And I was telling you guys, I hate this because I just saw this before I went on air and I want to make sure I included it. I was just promoting this stream. And, the person that we were talking about, or the person who did that initial tweet, The Last Astrologer, look, I don't have anything against The Last Astrologer. And he's saying, well, the new Basic Expert scandal is more like it. So here we go. It's now we're talking about the slap fights again. And then he's saying, actually, that's a good question. Basic Expert was your boy. Oops, sorry. Well, he's not my boy. I got along fine with John. I still want to get along with John, but I don't think he would call me his boy. And I certainly, I would just disagree with that. Now he's saying that anyone associated with the OSR is effeminate and ought to be smothered and something, blah, blah, blah. He's calling you effeminate. What do you got to say about that? Well, I got to say about that this is Twitter performative art, because he's been attacked. So he's lashing out because he has nothing to lose. This is why we shouldn't attack in the first place. That's all I'm saying. Do I take it personally? No. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't take it personally. He can have his opinions, and I do disagree with John using it as just a way to hammer, against the OSR in general, because I think there's plenty of OSR people who like this game. So it's not every OS. It's, as always, it's probably just kind of a loud minority. That's all. So Venger is kind of reiterating something he said, that he can't blame Shadowdark itself, because if Shadowdark didn't exist, the next big, shiny, well-marketed mainstream D&D alternative would do its oxygen-sucking thing. And that's why he used the term Shadowdarking. Merlin for $4.99, being a woman online creator and succeeding is life on easy mode. Pity buy. Not the same as a male creator making it. Dudes comparing it is BS. Well, look, the game, I don't know what to tell you other than the game is fine. Is it the best game I've ever played? No. Is it worth $2 million? Well, guess what? I'm not a communist, so yes, it is, because that's how much it made. Again, I don't know what you guys want. Instead,
so people asked for OSR game that was good. A woman created it and made it, sold a shit ton of it, won a bunch of awards for it. People are now complaining about her success.
And
I'm likening it to, like, if they think that there's some sort of scandal, which maybe she didn't really deserve all these awards and she won because she was on certain people's show. I'm looking as like a sports term. Like, did she break the home run record but it was juiced?
Right.
Is that what people are thinking, that she won these awards because she was on all the popular
I think,
shows?
Like people like Chris, I think, are saying like, look, I get that it's an okay game, but maybe it's not that good. I think Venger's saying the same thing. And I think there's a case to be made there. I think there's other people saying like it's complete garbage, and the only reason she got it is because, you know, I don't know, she
is a girl,
I guess is a girl, and, you know, used her for her feminine wiles or her woke wiles or whatever, which I don't think she did. I've watched a couple of her streams, not all of them. I mean, they're not, you know, I mean, it's all business, guys. It's all business. And instead of immediately like looking for something to tear down, why don't we look for something to emulate? She won because of the participation reward, I think. Since I've not seen a reason it won any awards. It won awards because it's slick. It's got decent art. It's got unified art. Look. All right. So I tell you what, just because I want people to, because I did this on Twitter, and I'll show it here. Oh my God. There's, oh my Lord.
Is that her? Is that Kelsey?
That's her. Saw her in an elevator at Gen Con. I'm like, hey, Kelsey Dion, you did Shadowdark. You know what I said to her? I said, that's a good little game. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. She was so nice and thankful.
Yeah, she was very.
And I got news for you. Hold on, I'll get it after Mac. $5. Play W with whatever the F you want to play. I'm tired of folks telling me how much a game sucks because they don't like it or the creators. Not WotC, they suck. Yeah, exactly. I think we're on the same page there, Mac. Go ahead. I'll get James's too. $5. Is she pretty though? Like what comes out? Well, there you go. Yeah. So, and then one time I was just by the Starbucks at the JW, and she noticed me, and Crafty Madfire, it's Sour Grapes, successful RPG brings in 2 million that was not written by your favorite creator, so it must be bad. That's cringe, lame, effeminate. To some extent, yeah. I mean, like I said, let's just try to find out what worked. Okay, and I guarantee you, her being a woman was part of it, but it wasn't all of it. Look,
so her sales topped $2 million on this book so far. Is that
I
what
don't know how
everyone's
much
saying?
she sold after, but the Kickstarter did over 2 million. So yeah, so she's very successful. And I got news for you guys. I didn't get recognized by too many people at Gen Con, but when she met me here the second time, it was with Mrs. D and Daughter D, and we just had a nice, pleasant little 5-minute conversation. And she's like, "You're a YouTuber, aren't you?" I got a feeling she suspected, like she knew who I was. And I'm like, "Yeah, you know." And I was just.
Did she look over your shoulder and was like, "Where's Crazy Mouse and Rogan?"
No,
No.
Don't think she's that big of it. I wouldn't look for her. And look, she's also too smart to go on this show, and I don't blame her, because she doesn't want her brand tied to me. She didn't need to. Okay, so and I don't take that personally.
Why are so many people? I have a wrestling match inside my head about this. You know, WotC's really fucked up a good thing, destroyed a legacy, et cetera, and we're all scrambling trying to find things that are better, and we're seeing a lot of stuff out there is better. And there's so many people that are trying to raise it up, to make it rise again. You know, so many creative people, you know, trying to make what we love better in one faction or another. You know, a little slice here, a little slice there. You know, it's a big pizza, and no one's going to like all the flavors, but there's enough pizza for everybody. Why damn the pizza? You know, why do that?
Yeah.
I just don't understand that.
I don't get it at all.
Black Lodge Games is in the house.
Oh, hey, Black Lodge.
Did you go to that page specifically?
Love your new video.
Double D.
What's that?
Did you go to a different page specifically?
Different page?
Like you turned off the comments.
I
and
did,
then,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Were you trying to do something?
Yeah, go ahead. Throw Matt up there, though.
Okay.
Let's get Matty. RPGs teach a lot of things, including sportsmanship. Yes. This is all just poor sportsmanship. Be a better man, be a better sport. Yes.
Amen.
It's a great point, Matt. Try to look. Let me tell you what Venger should have done. Okay. And he said at the end, like, he wants to do things his own damn way. That's fine. If you do that, sometimes you're going to be poor, because you know what I would have done if I was Venger? This book has the easiest license in the world. You can say it's compatible with Shadowdark, but she has nothing to do with what you're doing. That's it. If I was Venger, I'd be like, hey, everybody, get ready for Shadowdark Chalt. Resell your stuff, do a little bit of work, put it into Shadowdark, put that Shadowdark name on it. Guess what? You're going to sell some copies. Ask the Black Lodge boys, because they're in the chat. They're smart. They didn't just pick their system at random for the shucked oyster. That's what smart people do. They don't try to fight against the current. They work with it. And I understand you can't always do that. But, man, if you have the opportunity, why not do something like that? Snake Oil Sean, $20. I picked up Shadowdark on your recommendation, and though I haven't had a chance to play it yet, I like what I see. Yeah, it's basically a well-formatted OSR game that utilizes the best home rules that currently exist. Yep. I would consider it more like a stripped down 5e. And I know she said like, well, hey, this is a little bit more OSR. It's kind of based on basic D&D. When she says that, it's based on this. I think this was kind of like her inspiration as far as presentation. It certainly has, her game has better art that's in here. I'll tell you that much. The Great Yakubian, $5. One of my favorite RP game designers hates me because I refuse to follow Israel blindly. I think I know who you're talking about there. Jeff from Denk, thank you, James, by the way. Jeff from Denkar, $5. The rule set's decent, but I think her marketing and people skills showed how important it is to engage the community to get people to buy those games. Yes. And does being a woman in this male-dominated sphere help? Yep. Shadow Chalt. Bingo.
Someone else just typed the exact same thing.
Shadow Chalt. Venger. You're missing out on a lot of money. It's a way to introduce your stuff to new people. Who cares if it's not Advanced Crimson Dragon Slayer? That doesn't mean anything. Put it in the Shadowdark format. It's not that hard. Hey, Victor, how you doing? By Blacklight, compatible with Shadowdark RPG. There you go. Victor is always on the grind for €2. Thank you very much, Victor. Good to see you here. Good to see John here. I'm glad you guys joined in. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, I will show you something here. I'm gonna take control here for a moment.
Hold on, I'm gonna take control.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Black Lodge. Yep. And to clarify, no one is pissed that some people don't like Shadowdark. It's that people have spread baseless lies about Kelsley, who has acted in good faith for years. Yeah.
All right, all yours, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yep. Thank you for picking that up. Yeah. That's why he's on the stick, people. All I heard when I came in as a YouTuber was how great this book is. Old School Essentials. This is basic D&D reformatted, and it is a slick formatting. Look at that on the cover. Basically, I like this game. I like this. Even though I have the basic and expert games, I like this presentation so much so I bought it. Well, hold on 1 second.
You keep saying that, and then you go on another rant.
Because I'm setting something up.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's someone from Old School Essentials. Diogo Nogueira. I'm sure you guys recognize the name. He's done a lot of shit for Old School Essentials. No politics in my games is stating I prefer to remain comfortably silent, not get involved while marginalized people are silenced, blah, 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 or treated as crybabies or something like that. After all, I'm a white cis man. I've never, blah, blah, blah. You know who's never made a tweet like that? Kelsey Dion. So then tell me, if you're going to take the stance that she's woke and undeserving, why is this better than this? You tell me. That's all I'm saying. Like what you like. Look, if you think this game's shit, and then look, this game is not without its flaws. Trust me. As I said, I played this game. I can tell you. The main flaw, I'll pick up Wayne's here first. Anything that takes money and attention away from Wizards of the Coast makes me happy. Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of her fans came from. I don't think they came whole cloth from the OSR. I think there were a lot of people in the OSR who liked it, but it's not a threat. It's not an existential threat. She made her game. People can now make stuff if they like for it or not. Look, our friend Greg Gillespie has done amazing campaigns, mega dungeons. I got news for you. He did OSR versions and he did 5e versions. Stop fighting against the tide. Do an OSR version. Absolutely. There is still a market there. Why not do a Shadowdark version too? It's not that hard a game to stat up. Cal says Chalt and other Avenger products are a niche within a niche just because it's adult content. It's a tougher sales issue. Absolutely. Yep. Disco, remember that last tweet gave me monkeypox. Thank you, Disco. Thank you very much. Good job, Crazy Mouse, keeping up with all these.
Yep.
You're doing a good job. Look, I mean, I understand Venger, wanting to be his own man, do his own thing. That's commendable. That's respectable. And he was able to make a go of it for years.
So he's retiring from the business?
Kind of like a boxer's retirement, I would guess. I think Pundit said that he wouldn't be surprised if a couple of years he kind of came back and did something. And I certainly wouldn't either. I think he's honestly... Well, look, I mean, we know who wears the pants in his family. He's pretty open about that. I think his wife was just saying, he even says, he's like, look, I could tell my wife 5 years ago, I could do something with this. I can make something here. And he even said, he's like, I can't look her in the eye and tell her that anymore. So I've got to step back. The money's not there. But I'm telling you, if you sacrifice a little bit of your, I don't even want to call it machismo, but your uniqueness, and just fucking do a Shadowdark, Shadow Chalt. So it'll be a license to print money. You maybe have to tone it down a hair, maybe a hair, but you could even just say, hey, this is Shadowdark After Dark,
Not full gonzo.
Yeah. The Great Yakubian, $5. You'd all be happier if you converted to orthodoxy, hit the gym, ate right, and put your faith in God. Sorry, Double D, no offense, man. Well, let's see. I'm just not into orthodoxy. I do hit the gym. I do believe in God. So thank you, buddy. Yes, you may preach as often as you see fit, buddy. Edgelord, $2. Venger is the Roger Corman of the OSR. Come back. I think he will. A Guide to Gonzo compatible with Shadowdark would do Venger some good. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Sorry. After 2 hours, that thing burns out, and I have to start it up again. Let's see. Ooh.
I didn't see Jeff Hatch tonight in the chat.
No Jeff. Oh, maybe he's busy.
I also only see 73 likes, and that's a bummer. Come on, divers.
We're scraping 200 for the first time on YouTube.
Yes, we have a lot of viewers. Only 73 likes.
You guys want to make sure all your comments, if you've been read, get seen after the fact. So, it's basically the main points I wanted. Look, I'm going to throw this in here if anybody's been chomping at the bit. If you have thoughts, and by thoughts, I don't want to hear about any fucking scores being settled, from Twitter and all that stuff. If you have specific thoughts on Kelsey, Shadowdark, all that, lover, hater, I'll give you the chance. I think when you say anybody who likes this game is a simp, you're wrong. I think if you're saying the whole OSR is cringe because they hate this game, I think you're wrong. Because I think both are untrue. I think both are they're not true. It's like there's the game, and then there's the all the stuff around.
Ooh, we got a live one.
Ooh, we got a live one here. Is the did you guys shut the door? Is the,
I can go double check on
yeah,
it real
double,
quick.
Go ahead if you want. Yeah. Thank you. Daughter D is home from work.
Good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing tonight?
How you doing, my friend? Good to finally see you live and in person.
Yep. Again, because you had me on after the attempt, as I still referred to this day. So I was on back then.
Yes,
so
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Boy,
Yeah.
that was quite a day, was it not?
Oh, that was
Crazy.
really crazy.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm very thankful you again for the opportunity I get to come on here and just be able to kind of share my own thoughts, because you've seen how I am on my ex. I'm very much an opinionated person when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So,
Yep. Go ahead. What is your opinion
Hey.
on Shadowdark? Hey, Thraxis. I'll get to you in just a moment, buddy.
No problem.
And let's hear what the tabletop RPG has to say. Go ahead, buddy.
yeah. So I think the sentiment I had is kind of similar to a lot, where it wasn't really about the game itself. It was more the fact that people were kind of just using it to attack Kelsey and be like, "Oh, she's so woke, it's so crazy," and I'm just like, because it's funny how I described it was the first time I ever heard about Shadowdark was your video, and I was like, "Huh, that seems interesting," and I completely forgot about it. Then I saw the quick starts on Drive Thru RPG. I'm like, "Oh, I remember Double D talked about those. I'll get them." Got them. Forgot about it again. And then I saw the post about her winning the Ennies, which for all award shows, I care like that much about them now these days. So whatever goes on with them, I don't care that much about it. But I remember like, oh, I got those. I need to check those out and see how good it is. And then I read through them and I was like, why was I not playing this sooner? Because as someone who is very much rules light advocate when it comes to TTRPGs like myself, it's like Shadowdark is almost kind of like a rules light game. Yeah, there's a little more compared to other games, but I mean, it's very simple to understand and it's to the point. It's not like you look at a Dungeons and Dragons book and you see how wordy those are. With Shadowdark, it's all right there, just straight to the point.
Yeah, she did good with the presentation. She did kind of copy, I think, Old School Essentials, and that's a good one to copy if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's overall, it's a stripped down 5e with some elements of OSE. Not bad.
Yeah. I don't have the main book yet. However, he's actually been in the chat. He's on Exynos Chubby Funster. He made a Dark Sun version called Shadow Sun.
One.
Oh yeah. Nice.
And I have been really looking into the Dark Sun like lore, and someone actually made Old School Essential Dark Sun books, and I actually have those. It's in these cabinets above my head, so I should have pulled those out, but I didn't think about it. But it's like just reading through it, and it's like it is Dark Sun with the serial numbers filed off, so he doesn't get sued basically. But it's a great book for those who are just looking to like get quick into Shadowdark, and they want like the Dark Sun kind of stuff. This would be for them kind of deal. But to get the train back on the tracks for a second, but my main issue was basically everyone attacking Kelsey and like trying to say, oh, she's woke. And I think part of the issue was it was basically Shadowdark is basically kind of like an OSR book with some 5e stuff mixed into it. And I think the main issue was the big time OSR guys, when it comes to like OSR stuff, they want it to kind of stay in their corner. They don't want to really share it too often. That's kind of the sentiment I get sometimes. But Shadowdark, this appealed to everyone. You had like people on both sides of the hobby actively playing this game, sharing their praises about it, to the point where she won 4 Ennies. And I think that's really what got everyone kind of on the OSR side of the hobby up in arms, was because it didn't stay in the corner. It was being shared with everyone. They didn't like it that much that the quote unquote wrong side was also having access to it too.
Yeah. Which, like I said, I get. But I think we got to try to overcome that as best as possible. It's like you just got to tip your hat and say, all right, what did she do right? Other than just being a woman, we understand there's a certain percentage that maybe that influenced something, but you can't just say, oh, it was all because she's a woman. It's just not true. Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Thank you.
Ultra
Thank
Tabletop. I'm gonna make room for some other folks here. I hope you have a great
course.
night. Yep. Grimlocked, $1.99. Kelsey has a lot of DM advice videos from 2017 to 2019.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's actually how I found out about her. When I was getting back into the hobby, I found her YouTube channel. Actually, I think I was looking for monster cards first, and I found her website, and I was just looking for some tools to help me run a game. And then I found her YouTube channel because of that. And she has some great videos there about being organized and just having general DM advice. And I just thought it was good. And I was like, and you know, she's an attractive female on a YouTube channel. So I hit subscribe. Sure. And you know, didn't think much about it, ordered those, and I get an email and see a video during the OGL stuff about Shadowdark, and that was something she's been working on. I didn't know anything about it before, but I was like, okay, yeah, I liked your stuff before. I'm going to back it. And so I was in before it was on any YouTube channel or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I joined the Discord and stuff and got involved with the community. And it's actually a pretty good community. And you know, it's definitely is a bridge game.
I've
Guys,
heard.
I'm sorry, I have
Go
a
ahead.
question. How old is this game? Is this a brand new game?
Yeah,
or
it's-
is this
It's like a year.
A year.
It's been out. Probably maybe less than a year now.
All right, thank
but
you.
within the last year, I do believe. Snake Oil Sean, $5. Kelsey seems to be a legit tabletop RPG gamer, not a celebrity gamer that gets promoted so often. Yes, she could be a good influence going forward. Yeah, exactly, Sean. Look, I think she's been very open. Like she had like a childhood experience with like Gary Gygax. She met him and was very. He encouraged her, and she was, you know, starstruck. So
Yeah, I think she played at James Metzer's table.
Mhm. Yep. Chris Miller, should someone who prints a cut and pasted version of D&D be able to win Best Designer awards? Reskinning D&D does not make you a designer. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough, Chris. Again, though, I will say, like, all I heard was how great the formatting was in this book. And it's
I
find
find that criticism very disingenuous from the OSR, who has reskinned BX a bajillion times.
Yeah, but
Okay?
maybe Chris is just saying, like,
I'm
that's
just-
fine, but
it's-
they've never won awards, based on it. This is a little more. I think her game.
The
is a
innies
little bit
are.
more
I mean,
unified.
she sent that thing out to her email list, which is massive, because she's got a lot of 5e people in there.
She sent out like the vote.
Yeah. That's how
The
you
ballot?
win the innies. You get
ballot,
your
okay.
fans to
Yeah,
vote.
it is
and
all
she has a
voting.
huge following, and they came out and passed. I went and voted. You know, so it wasn't like a group of RPG scientists sat there and took samples of the book and determined it was great. It's a popularity thing. It's who gets the best marketing out in that competition.
Prejudice.
She's going to win.
Thank you, Cal. $2 dice prejudice. All right. Well, thank you, Thraxis.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I
Thank you
wanted to
for
make
offering-
one
Yeah, go ahead.
point, and this will be my parting point. You do notice that one TTRPG influencer was not in that wave that promoted Shadowdark at the beginning. Can you name who it is?
I'm not sure. Is it
Ginny
Pundit?
D was
Ginny D.
radio silence on Shadowdark, guys. I want you to just think about that, and then I'm out.
Oh, are you thinking like the girl?
I don't know. I think Ginny D was too expensive, is what I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, no, wait. Was she on the questing midget?
She was. Well, I don't know
Well,
if Ginny D was, but
no. I mean,
she got
Kelsey,
questing beast. But I don't know. I don't know what it was, but she was. She never mentioned boo about it. So not even like, hey, this is a cool game I've seen. But I also think she has contractual things with WotC. But
yeah, she is so like besieged with offers. Like Kelsey probably just didn't want to pay her, I would imagine. So
and that might have been it. But I just noticed that was the one.
Well, thank you for
exception.
bringing that up.
All right.
That is interesting. All right, thank you, Thraxis.
All right, see you guys later.
Thank you.
All right, let's. Leo, you there?
Yep. Can you
Hey,
hear
what's
me?
up? Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little echoey. Get close to whatever your microphone you're using.
Eat the mic.
I got a headset on, so
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. How you doing, man?
That's fantastic. First time caller, long time listener. So, it's great to be able to finally get to talk to you guys. Again, we've known each other for 24 plus years.
Yep.
So, and I was so thrilled that I was able to run this game, Shadowdark, for you, the missus, and all of these other people at VengerCon. And VengerCon, 30 people, all 0E, 1E. Rules Encyclopedia guys. They're all hardcore folks that are there, OSR only. But yet when 7 people sat down at the table for 2 days, they picked it up, they ran with it, they enjoyed it, and they laughed and they had fun. And that's the big takeaway from Shadowdark. It is 5e light. It is, I fully admit, it has flaws, but it's easy to pick up and do. My wife has never played Dungeons and Dragons in her life, but I had her sit down, and for 4 sessions, she was able to play a cleric. Can you do that in 2nd edition, 1st edition, OSE, 5e at a high level? Hell no, you can't.
Well, people keep saying like, boy, 5e was good before all the bloat, all the stuff that turns your characters into superheroes.
Right.
Well, I mean, all this game does is strip down 5e to its very core, to where it's kind of dangerous, especially if you take away the power nap rule, where you get all your hit points back. There are options there where you can do that too. So it's like if you were kind of convinced that 5e had the the kernel of a good game, there's nothing to be necessarily afraid of here.
Right, and low hit points. AC is low. Skill checks are hard. You find a thing, you do a thing. It empowers the player to go out and play the character, not the stats, not the feats, not the skills, none of that. It gives the DM the ability to go to the player, and I'm not saying this Shadowdark's alone in this, but it's built into the rules saying, if your character's good at something, well, screw the rules. Like for thieves, you search in this area for traps, you find the traps. You got time, you disarm the traps. I mean, that's one of the biggest hurdles on everything that I've ever played in for all these games, is that the thief starts to slow stuff down. I mean, I heard that in DM James. I heard that in the basic expert stuff. That's why they throw it out. But my main point for Shadowdark was, and this is something I talk to Shark about all the time, is the terse writing, the simple text, the ability to say more with less, the cram, the DMG, a Monster Manual, PHP, into that little compressed OSE style book that I love from Lamentations. And the art was great, and just having the fighter's like 4 paragraphs, probably less than 400 words. Look at the 2024 6E. You have 24 different subclasses, and it goes on for 45 pages.
It's insane.
So that's what I like. And that's one of the strong points I see. You get in, you get what you need, you get out.
Well, thank you very much, Leo. Yeah, you're a good advocate for it, and you did a good job running it. Like I said, I liked it. My wife really liked it. We had fun. It was like an old school experience, and I don't know, everybody who kind of hates it without having tried it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, will it change your life forever? Probably not. Will you have a good 4 hours at a convention game with it? Yeah, you will. With any competent DM, you will.
And even a subcompetent like me. So
yeah, exactly. Okay. You were very good. All right. Well, thank you, Leo. I'm gonna get rid of you. All right. No, take care. See you, buddy. All right. Which of you guys wants to go next? You're all muted, so you can unmute yourselves. Travis, what's up, buddy?
How are you, Travis?
I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
we can.
We got you.
So I agree with Thraxis about like finding out about her like early on, way before she even got into making Shadowdark. I used to be subscribed to a lot of her work when her company is of course called Arcane Library, and I remember getting the email about the OGL, and I've been working on this about the same time. Like I was also going down the same path, like 3 months in, like working on my own system and sitting there going, wow, okay. So I'm kind of interested to see what, she's doing as well as everybody else. But when I got my hands on Shadowdark, I thought it was interesting, like all the people like Baron, Questing Beast, the Professor, and as like Runehammer, like all these people, you even see them all together at the Ennies. Like if you go back and you kind of look at if you're following any of these people, a lot of their stuff that they all tried with 5th edition, you can see that in her work. So all these people were bouncing stuff off of each other. So they're all, interconnected there. So I'm not surprised why, they all promoted her. And again, she was pulling both from, hey, I'm trying some things that people did in the past with what currently has been working. And I've been, writing stuff for 5e for years. She already had people. So I'm not surprised that transpired. But also, I had a conversation not too long ago at one of my games about two weeks ago with a mutual friend of ours. And he was telling me that he had learned that, I guess it's her girlfriend or her wife, that she's actually, her primary job is marketing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I had heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, man,
It's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Right. And also out of the whole old GL stuff, it was first in, best dressed. I mean, she struck when the iron was hot.
Yeah. Did she get lucky a little bit? Yeah, but she put in the work too.
Yep. Oh no,
time. Look, if you're prepared for success, when success comes, you're going to profit from it. And she did. And it's like, I just don't like that the automatic go-to is, well, you're a simp because she's a woman. It's like,
there's some clarification on that right there.
Her wife's an artist, not really a mark. Okay, I made that mistake when I made it. Okay, there you go.
It was just a word that buddy of mine that plays at my table that we all know, and he was just like, oh, that's what I heard, and I was just like, well, you're making the rounds with people, and I'm not currently making the rounds with people since your Kickstarter did real well. So I was like, hey, maybe you might know something that I don't. So, yep.
Hey, okay. It's thank you, by the way, Travis. Well said. Good to finally
thank you, Travis.
catch up.
Thank you, Travis.
All right, take care, buddy. Like a crafty Matt was. They say never work with young kids or animals. You were stealing the show there with the cat.
At first, I thought it was a
Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton.
Oh, that's right. That's Timothy Dalton. Yeah,
it is. He is the official mascot of the Basic Expert and Associates Gilded Servers. We're attorneys at Raw.
Nice.
So
how's it going, man?
No, it's going good. How are you? I think this is the first time we've ever actually we've spoken.
Is.
Yeah,
it is.
So
now, how are you doing? Health wise, I know you had a setback a little while ago. Is everything okay?
Yeah, well, you can kind of see the fat starting to collect because I've dropped about 65 pounds.
Okay.
So
congratulations.
Good.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Congratulations.
We have.
I know.
I'm trying to lose. I know Rogan's trying to lose. Crazy Mouse is. We're all trying.
Right.
So yeah. Well, that's good.
I mean, the most important thing before we start anything is make sure you play like a champion today. So, because
he's got the hat. Yeah, he's got the hat.
I got the flag flying outside the house too. So, I mean, it's just is.
Oh yeah.
But as far as Shadowdark goes, right? So, this idea that it's 5e, this idea that it's OSR, it's neither, right? It's kind of its own thing. It's kind of borrowed from both.
Yes, I would agree.
I've been following Kelsey for a long time. In fact, I've run a couple of her 5e modules for kids at game stores because for a while there, I was doing a 5e introduction to kids. If the kids wanted to come in, they would do that. Right now, I don't know if you know who Orcus Dorcas is.
I don't.
On Twitter. Okay. He's my DM, but also both of our libraries, this is before our friendly local gaming store shut down. Both of our libraries were open to anybody. Right. So we have massive libraries. And what he used to do is he used to pull and put it behind and say, hey, play this game. Right. So it's not just 5e that we play. We play DCC over there. We play Cyberpunk, all this other stuff. Right. So when Shadowdark came out, right, it revitalized, I guess you could say, the gaming store a little bit because everybody was tired of playing 5e, right? They just were. And to take that away from Kelsey because of sour grapes, because your game wasn't the game to revitalize gaming stores is just sour grapes to me, man. It's bad, right?
Well,
The
it's
game
just
itself-
unproductive. It's just
Yeah.
not. It's just not productive. I understand that life ain't fair. I understand.
Right.
Look, maybe did she have an advantage or what? It doesn't matter. It's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Don't-
it's like you gotta compete and you gotta find a way to get an advantage. And that's like
right. And so I'm a sales guy by trade, right? And the one thing that I have learned is don't knock your competition down, because if you knock your competition down to you, that means that your product isn't good enough to stand with your competition.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of wisdom there.
So-
Yes.
So if your game is truly superior to Shadowdark, then you need to talk your game up. If people haven't seen Shadowdark because you're if it's a superior game, then guess what? You got to be a better salesman. If you're not a better salesman, right, and you don't get and unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the OSR that they're not good salesmen. They're just not, right? Then nobody's going to buy your product. Okay, you can have the greatest product in the world, but if you're not a good salesman, then
Yeah, nobody's gonna find it.
right.
And,
So
and you can't. It's like you can't say also that like, oh well, the deck is stacked.
Mhm.
Like look at even Pundit's Baptism of Fire. It's selling like gangbusters by a white guy, written by a white guy. Published by Chris Miller, our friend. And it's about Poland. I mean, look, a medieval fantasy Poland, and yet it's selling like gangbusters. Because I have it. It's a good book. I would put it, as far as quality, in my opinion, it's equal to Shadowdark. So it's like, just produce good stuff and people are going to find it.
And I mean, you have a brilliant point to Venger and everybody else that there's a reason why everybody wrote stuff for 5e because it was popular, right? If Shadowdark is the new popular thing, make sure that you write for it, right?
Yes.
Make content for it. There's a reason why the Black Lodge guys are making Shucked Oyster, right? There's a reason why you need to go out and buy Blacklight by Victor Gorchev and the Scrying Junction. There's just a reason. And for those people out there that are saying, oh, well, it's because, Ennies, whatever, all that. If you complain about the Ennies, you care about the Ennies. Oh, I don't care about the Ennies. If you say that, you care about the Ennies, right? And
Some wisdom there.
yeah, exactly. And I'm terribly sorry, but a group of white guys won an Ennie, so you can't sit there and say, well, the Ennies are no white guy wins an Ennie. I mean, come on, Victor Gorchev, the whitest of white guys, right, won an Ennie.
It's true. Yeah,
so he is an Ennie award-winning author.
You can never take that away from Victor.
And you can never take it away from him. And there are people out there that are just jealous of that, right?
Well,
and they can be jealous.
It's an award show, and it's like people have complained for years, like, oh, well, the Academy Award and the best film didn't win the Academy Award. Well, it's like, yeah, that's the way it works. It's a popularity contest,
right?
If you want to, if it's important to you and you want to win one, guess what you got to start to do? You got to start to lobby. You got to start to mobilize people to vote on your behalf. And it's like, don't blame people who do that kind of stuff. It's obviously important to them. If it's not important to you, it honestly shouldn't bother you.
Maybe I have one thing to say about, like, we talk about maybe the award shows and so didn't win Best Picture. And there's also the thing of the court of public opinion. Does the court of public opinion think this is a good game?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
I mean, I get it if not everyone's in love with it, and that's fine. But
it's like if you have a reason, like I could give you reasons. There are some things I definitely don't like in this game, but there's more that I do. That's why on whole I say, yeah, it's a pretty good game. That's why I had no problem looking her in the eye when I saw her. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice little game you made there. Did I say this is a life-changing game and like, oh my God, I'm gonna be preaching this now and until I die? No, it's a nice, good little game.
And here's the thing too, right? The picture of you with her, you're big enough that she knows who you are. She knows what your audience is. The fact that she's able to stand and take a picture with you, right? She knows
took one with Venger too.
She knows she's going to get flack from her customers, but it's not about that for her. It's about making the game. So Shadowdark may not be the best game. It is certainly a very playable game, right?
Yes.
And I'm gonna end with this because I want you to get to DM James. Is, if you're so sour about Shadowdark winning an award, right? Maybe you should stop baking meatball pizzas and write a better game. And that's all I got to say.
Yep.
Amen.
Well said, buddy. Yep.
Amen.
It's great to finally talk to you in person, Matt. Thank you. I'll tell you what, we'll add. We'll talk to James here. James, you there?
You got one.
Oh, we got Victor. I won an any by Blacklight. There you go. The man is always hustling. Hustle like Victor does. Victor.
I
is
am
a
here,
champion.
and I would like to first off start off by saying hello, Crazy Mouse, and Rogan.
What is this?
You guys are awesome. I was going to quietly just sit here and bask in Double D's radiance.
Well, you can do that. You're a professional. You're a professional YouTuber. You can do what you wish.
But here's the thing about this whole. Now, one, it's well formatted. Two, it's beautiful. I'm just going to say the thing about the game so I can get out here so you can get more people on. The game is well formatted. It's beautiful. Yeah. It reminds me of OSE. 3, when the OGL BS hit, she was like, boom, on the spot. Yeah. You know, like she had the game kind of already going as kind of her house rules. And it was like, there you go. And the fourth big thing about this game, which I'll probably never play because, it's not really my thing, but I don't hate the player, right? There's already a lot of people doing third-party products for this thing. I talked to one last night. So
it's easy. I tell you, she's got an easy license.
Awesome.
It's such an easy license. I've read it because I was thinking, I'm working on an adventure with Rogan. And I'm like, if we did a version of this, I do want to do an OSR version, for Greg's game. But I'm like, if I wanted to do a Shadowdark version, how easy? I swear to God, it's like, just put in this wording. This is Shadowdark compatible. You can use these logos. And then you have to say that this is not an official product or something like that. It's literally the simplest thing. She couldn't make it easier for you to make money. So it's like, I feel like I should play like Alec Baldwin's speech from Glengarry Glen Ross. It's like the leads are out there. Are you man enough to take them?
The leads are weak.
Yeah, the leads are weak. You're weak. Yeah.
Like if I were going to say something to Casimir specifically, other than write that Kevin Roos book, damn it, maybe he should do a conversion of Baptism of Fire that's 100% compatible with Shadowdark. It would probably sell. Like he would probably make a lot of money. I mean, I think
he wouldn't. If I knowing him, I don't know him, very well, but I don't think he would do that. But if somebody said, "Hey, I'll do all the work," I'll just convert this for you. I'm sure he'd take them, half the money for it or something.
Bro, I'm just saying the opportunity is there.
Yeah.
And
the money is out there.
I would rather give some random creator money than Wizards of the Coast. It's like, are you going to buy Shadowdark or are you going to buy 2024 for $180?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that's, I'm a vampire player, so I don't even belong here.
You belong. What are you talking about?
Also, do you see my my icon?
I do.
Yeah, apparently a bunch of people called the cops on me for walking out in front yard like that.
No,
because I built
really?
a complete cosplay of Deathcore of Krieg, like boots up, and I was just out in the front yard going to the neighbor to be like, check out my costume, and like everyone who drove by was calling the cops. They're like, some weirdo in a gas mask with an AK is running around. It was like,
when I was choosing a faction to get into, I had Death Guard. I wanted to do one other, like a quote unquote, like a good one. And if Deathcore hadn't been like so expensive, I would have done them. But that was before like 3D printing was really took off. So I just went with Imperial Guard.
Well, because you probably were looking at Deathcore when it was, what's that company called that does all the resin?
Forge.
Forge World.
Forge
now, like about 2 years ago, they came out with a plastic box set, 10-man squad. And when it originally came out, it was dirt cheap. So, I mean, for Games Workshop, I
was considering getting it for something like a kill team or something like that. But there's no way I'm going to do it. I was going to do a whole fact. I put so much work into my Imperial Guard and like my Death
Oh,
Guard.
it's
I'm
beautiful.
like,
I love your
that's
tank.
it.
Your Manticore, I
thank
think
you.
it is, that
Thank
big
you.
artillery piece. But
Yeah.
anyway, before I get things too much off track, that's my thing. I don't understand
All
why
right.
anyone cares. Nothing that Chelsea or Kelsey or whatever does affects any of us or our game tables. And, you know, and it's an opportunity for someone like, you know, Victor to write a book, Modern Weapons compatible with Shadowdark, you know, and there he is again, you know, doing it.
The money is out there. If you,
I mean,
if it's
jump on it.
if it has good quality at all, and you do a little work promoting it, you can make some money. So, all right. Well, listen. Thank you, James. I'm going to.
Thank you for everything
talk
you
to
always do
Yeah,
for the
boot
show.
me
We
out.
really
I will
appreciate it.
chat with you later, bro.
Yeah.
And Mouse
take care, buddy.
and Rogan, pleasure, sirs.
Yep. Love you, buddy. Yep. Take care.
Good to hear your voice.
Take care.
Yep. All right, Disco Barbarian, $2. He loves himself a meatball pizza.
There were some more people that actually commented that they love meatball pizzas too.
I remember one of Sonny D's baseball coaches. Like he loved meatball on his pizzas. It got me to try it. I like it. Yeah, no, you know what? I actually get it. It's on what's the one up on Peachtree? Blaze, yeah. On their meat eater. Like it comes with meatballs. It's like torn up meatballs instead of like sausage.
I haven't had a pizza from them in a while.
It's still good.
It's good.
It's probably one of the better chains out there. Oh, well, sorry. As Chubby and Jeff are like, which one of you guys wants to go first? Or you guys can just play off each other.
I'll go. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey, Chubby, what's up?
Great show, guys. I was going to say this, but Crafty Matt covered a little bit of it too, that people look at it as events that are happening outside of themselves. They should be seeing it as an opportunity for what they can do to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yes.
So I wrote a game called Ambition and Avarice before any Shadowdark stuff ever came out. And I was thinking about converting a lot of the equipment section, because I have a really, really highly developed equipment section, over to OSC, and then the OGL scandal hit and Kelsey's stuff started rolling, and I was like, this is way better opportunity. So I just took material I already had and adapted it to the new environment, and it's been fantastic sales and distribution. Like you've already got ideas, you're already making this stuff, convert it into another format so that you can get it in front of other people. There's
got to be a simple conversion. It's got to be a simple conversion.
This idea that there's good and bad people to look at your game, like anybody looking at your writing is good. Find as many people who want to look at your writing as you can. You know,
makes great sense. Now is your stuff, is it on drive-through or?
Yeah, it's all on drive-through.
And what is your main product?
Shadow Sun is the best selling one. It's about to go platinum. It's within 100 of going platinum.
There you go, guys.
Shadow Sun. It's a Dark Sun adaptation to Shadowdark.
Yep.
And
that's right. Yeah,
the only negative review is complaining that it's not Shadowdark enough. Because you don't want to fly too close to the sun and get stung by Wizards of the Coast. But I made the Seas of Silt into black silt like Shadowdark. I changed a lot of stuff about it, and people really like it. I post pictures of them getting POD in the Facebook group all the time. It's great. Like the marketing engine that she's built helps you too. Why would you just tap into that power?
Well, it's like you're trying to swim against the tide, and which is fine if you want to do that.
You're a salmon.
Yeah. I mean, and look, if you say like, no, I have a vision, I know what I want, and it's not this. I trust me, I understand that. But if you're just kind of floundering and you're like, boy, the vehicle for this thing that I've written is not doing it any justice, why not put in a little bit of time and just convert it to something that people are buying? It's dollars and cents. You don't even have to love it. Look, as I kept saying, like Greg Gillespie, he would sell 5e versions of Barrow Maze. I think Greg is pretty open about how much he does not like Wizards of the Coast. He does not like 5e. But guess what? he likes money, and I think most people do. So
I'm interested to know next year, like the people. So she cleaned up at the Ennies this year, and she won 4. What's going to be the motivation for all the people? What are next year's games going to look like? Are they going to make people? Did she inspire a whole bunch of people, or did she piss off people? Anger can be a great motivation as well. Did she anger so many people that they're going to write a great book or a great game or whatever? And next year could be just as interesting.
Yeah, could be a competitor for sure. Who knows?
A lot of it is stuff that you can't replicate easily, or they would have. Like, her writing style is extremely terse and very short and controlled. It's really hard to write like that, but we're all like, especially for really creative people who want to just turn these sentences into these long drags. Like I've had to go through like multiple editing passes myself, like just trying to cut, how can I trim this down another few words, because like she'll even eliminate like the present articles at the front of a sentence. So instead of saying the whatever, it just starts off with the word. Like she'll take out stuff that makes it grammatically incorrect, actually, but it makes it read faster and better. It's like the difference of everybody who's learned Spanish in school, whatever, yo soy versus just soy. Like it's just tightening it up.
It's having economy of words. You need to know how to write to do that. And look, like I said, not every mechanic in the game is good, but the writing is approachable. You open it up and it does kind of draw you in. It's not the most complicated game, but it wasn't meant to be. Great, James, the Great Yakubian, just here, $5. I'll be sending Don Cruz, the Idealist, Bruja Justicar to direct Drain. Crazy Mouse. Well, there you go. Beware Crazy Mouse. Thank you, James. Mercurius, $2 Australian. Pecunia.
Good day, mate.
Pecunia non ole. Should I be reading that backwards? Translation, please. Thank you, Mercurius, for $2.
Overkill
Joe
said he's stuck at work and he just wanted to say hello.
Hi, Overkill.
Yeah, good to see you. Well, thank you very much, Chubby Funster. The actually great advice, and best of luck on yours. Give it one more plug before you go out.
Oh, sure. I also wrote Shadow Rim, which is a Skyrim adaptation to Shadowdark. And it has 200 keyed hexes in Skyrim with the map and everything. So it's like a full campaign.
Shit.
Cool.
There you go.
Ciao.
Look it up. Yeah,
Check
cool.
it out.
Chubby, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jeffrem, did you get a tissue? You've been sneezing.
Nah, just been down with a bit of a cold. That's all.
Finally, soup and Gatorade. You'll be good.
Yeah. Or Sprite.
That's right. Yeah. Well, yes. But first off, there, just slight side tangents. Always a pleasure to meet another fellow follower of the Nurgle, grandfather.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Although I went with the nuns with guns for my Imperial Army.
Oh, did you? Yeah, there you go.
But when it comes down to the topic at hand, what really actually impressed me was Shadowdark just came out of nowhere. But I think honestly, for me, I don't think it's a grand conspiracy. I just think personally, from what I have seen, Kelsey knows marketing. Kelsey got out there, pounded pavement, and I think it also benefited her. Is that when she displays herself as very approachable, very, very nice. Like, I'll be blunt. I love watching Pundit. I love watching Ryan David. They each have their own strong opinions and very strong views on stuff. And some people get driven that off. I will fully admit I am a huge Palladium Books fan, as seen by my image on my screen. But I understand where people's criticisms of Kevin Simbita come from. The man is an utter genius. But even I'll admit, despite being a fan, I don't think business is his strong suit.
From what I've heard, no, it's not. Good guy, but yeah.
For me though, when I look at because I did actually get the free because I am considering on buying Shadowdark outright, but it's shipping to Canada's not always budget friendly. But when I look at it, it's clean, it's concise, and that's something I really look forward to because I find one of the big issues for getting people into role playing, and I think Kelsey dealt with it very well, is sometimes you don't want an overcomplicated format in your books. Because I've seen like some of these beautiful $80, $90 RPG books out there, and every page is color and splat art and boxes and everything, but it gets disorienting. But when I just looking at the PDF now, because I just pulled it up, simple 2-column format, clean, good line work on black and white art. Sometimes it's just, I think
That's
a
why
lot of people
it's a perfect like I said earlier, it's kind of like a perfect little convention game. I don't know if it would have the legs to support like a long-term campaign. Might be a little too little there. Maybe like a short-term campaign or a convention game could do a whole lot worse.
I agree 100%, especially as it only go like I don't know if it's in the full rules, so you can clarify this if it's not, but it goes up to 10 levels in the quick start rules. Does it go to full 20 in the main book or not?
I think it's only 10. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, it's only 10.
Paladin says, "God bless America."
Yeah, thank you, Paladin.
And
God bless
also,
America,
Double D, we got Mercurius gave you the translation.
Ooh, yes, thank you. Mercurius is obviously much smarter than me, as is probably most of the chat. Straight to the Latin for Emperor. Ooh, Vespasian. Money has no spell. Vespasian created the Colosseum, correct? If I remember right from my history. Thank you, Mercurius. Yes, money has no smell. Yes, you're a fool if you go out of your way to like push money that's there for the taking, away from you.
Pretty much. And I'm going to be honest about my other opinion. I do think it is a tad bit of jealousy from a lot of these. It's someone went and put the effort in, and as pointed out earlier, she's been doing YouTube videos and content in D&D Beyond for what, 2017? That was what
she had a built-in audience already.
Yeah. Like, this is my thought on the whole issue.
When did you start? I'm gonna interrupt just for 1 second. But also, when people talk about maybe her partner's partner, I'm not sure, is an artist, not a marketer. Well, maybe she is kind of a marketer in her own right. If she had tons of people on an email list and she knew that these Ennies were something that you voted for, she's like, why don't we just send the ballots out to my entire email?
Yeah, it's a
list.
That's
marketing.
That's
That's
smart
marketing.
promotion, smart marketing.
It's capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
you know what?
capitalism.
And may the best person win in a capitalist system, because that's the way it's supposed to be, meritocracy. And you know what? It might not, and I don't think it's the slightest, the nicest looking product. I don't think it would be a major rule set I would play often myself. But I would be blind. Okay, more blind than what I am now, but to not acknowledge that. Let me put it this way: I got an eye problem, just like in almost as bad as Indestructible. Only I prefer free market capitalism and tomboys.
There you go. All right, hey, hold on 1 second. Basic Extra, I have to go with my daughter. Peace, diversity, and dragons. You said earlier, you think I hate you. I don't. We're good. Okay. I never thought. To be fair, I don't think I ever thought you. I know you were a little disappointed in certain things, and I always understood that, but I just always could hope you could understand my point of view that I don't want to go to war every day on Twitter. So thank you for being in the chat, John. I do have Macwahedal. I had you on to talk about it before, and I really do like it. It's a good, solid product. So I may be looking at it either on stream or in a video. So peace to you, buddy. Thank you. But yeah, like I said, look, that's, we talk about the shit art that we've seen in 5e. I mean, look, is that
6e?
Yeah, 6e, whatever, 5.5, whatever. But it's like, that's what we're claiming. If Wizards of the Coast came out and like had their book full of this stuff, we'd be like, oh, cool, they're returning to form.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, why are you going to punish someone for doing this? I don't
want to see pastels and sombreros.
yeah. We don't want to see the Mexa orcs. Ultra American tabletop RPG are $5. The bros on the OSR side got mad at her for pushing her product. You mean the thing that a tabletop RPG creator is supposed to do? Yes. It's look, guys. It's the name of the game now. The thing is, like, if I wanted to do what I, like create like an adventure or something, or some sort of product back in the 90s, I had to either I would have had to try to get a job at a place, like a Wizards of the Coast or TSR back then.
Green Ronin.
Yeah, Green Ronin.
Jeez.
Or I mean, like you just did like freelance stuff. Like I did a freelance like mini adventure for Dungeon. I did like an article or two for
Matt Scribe.
Knights at the Dinner Table. Yeah, they were accepting submissions, but it's like if you wanted to be creative back then, you were really limited. Or you hung out your own shingle and just, boy, how like terrifying would it have been back then? Before the internet really was huge, to have to like create your own stuff, get it printed, get it marketed, get it sent out. It is, I don't want to say easy now, but all the tools are out there. Like literally, if I learn layout, I don't have to pay someone to do my layout. I can just do it. And Rogan is helping me do the art.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many things to like, I don't want to say copy, but be inspired by. And then guess what? Because for some reason people find me entertaining on here, I got a core of customers who'd probably be like, well, Double D's making it, he probably doesn't, suck too bad. I'll give it a shot. Now, if it sucks, they ain't going to buy anything else from me. But if it's good and I promote it well, it's going to do okay.
When we have a table at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because that was the
Walk
point I was
before you
actually going to make, because you brought up Razor Fist, excellent YouTuber, but it took him years of just producing content, building his fan base, and then he brings out Night Vale. Then he brings out Ghost of the Badlands. I honestly half expect one day during the stream, you're just going to be, oh, by the way, guys, here's Shadow Birthright. Totally not a real. I honestly expect that you would, at some point in your career, just say, you know what, the woke at the coast ain't bringing back my favorite world. People are doing knockoff versions of Dark Sun. Why am I not doing my own version of Birthright? I honestly expect that.
It's going to be in the back of my mind now. Yeah, I'm working on something different, but it's now it's there.
But you know what? Like I said, just before I shout here, because I know we got some Otto and not Roland.
We'll do a little bit of that. Yeah.
Like I was saying, like Kelsey's been involved in the hobby for years. The thing is a lot of the people are complaining. I don't think they realize she had been in the hobby for years.
Yep.
And because of, I didn't even know about certain people until I started watching your channel. Chubby Fonster, for example. I learned about him through your channel. I have drive-through up on his channel right now, taking a peek at his products because of it. So the hobby is big enough that we're all not always going to check these people. Now, do I think there are people out there who are artificial, created for it, or maybe just stumbled into it, like the Jenny D's or the J. Scott Garabays, although I think that's just a totally other situation. To be sure. And
he made a video about this controversy today.
Oh, did he?
Okay. So because I was afraid.
Thraxis says Shadow right for $2. Thank you, Thraxis. Thanks for popping on here too.
Yeah, but well, it's good to know he's still alive.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, it's like, so we always have to be careful of those things, and we always have to look at it from the marketing perspective. I've been sitting on my own world and things, and I'm not lying. It's just I'm trying to find the right rule set to do something like myself. But I realize if I'm going to do something like that, I'll probably have to start a YouTube channel or at least do some blogs or stuff like that to get the word out. And I think that's the way people should look at it from the perspective of the OSR or the indie scene. Before you try to get your product out, get your name out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well said, Jeffrem. Great to finally talk to you, buddy.
Yep, absolutely.
You two
Good
guys.
your voice.
Yep. All right,
Yeah, up here in the frigid white north.
Yeah, there you go. Stay warm. We'll see.
Drink some maple syrup. You'll be fine.
All right. Well, that's that is the discussion.
Patrick.
Patrick Demo. Leave Garabay alone. Gary told him he was a planeswalker through the red box. Oh boy. When he said that, leave Garibay alone, I was thinking of the leave Brittany alone guy.
Leave Brittany alone.
Well, look, it's just I don't hate anybody for their stance on it. If you still just don't like it and you think she just had some rotten good luck, look, I understand, but life is all about just not feeling sorry for yourself and just kind of like picking yourself up and being like, all right, let's effing do this.
Yeah. She made a talented, clever product that's what is good for the industry, good for our for our hobby. It really is.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt anything.
No.
And I don't think it sucks the oxygen out of the OSR like kind of like Venger was saying, because I mean there is some crossover, but I think she's getting mostly just disgruntled 5e people. Look at all the YouTubers she talked to. She didn't talk to me. She didn't talk to Pundit. She's talking to 5e YouTubers. And so I think that's where a lot of her sales came from. And there's like some in the OSR who said, yeah, I like this too. Chris Miller, good friend. Kelsey is legit. She's a real gamer, and she at least met and talked to Gary yet. I don't dislike her or her book. Yep. And I believe you, Chris. Yeah, I believe her fame is not entirely of her own making, but whatever. Look, I know it's hard, and you produce really good stuff, guys. I would urge you, the new edition, I think, of Mad Scribe magazine is out there. As much as I've been saying, like, look, Shadowdark is fine. I like Chris Miller more than I do Kelsey. I like Mad Scribe Games more than I do, Kelsey. Kelsey's fine and great. And, it was great to meet her and all that. And, nice young lady. But the people that I really want to help and who are producing good stuff is people like Chris Miller and even Pundit and Basic Expert. Like, look, those guys all had hits on their hands. Like Basic Expert did great, I think, with Maquahedal. Pundit is, along with, Chris Miller, who is his publisher, did great with Baptism of Fire. And Chris does Mad Scribe magazine. As much as I, have had to tell you for the last 2 hours that, you just got to get over the success of Shadowdark. Also take a look at people that we like Chris Miller's Mad Scribe magazine. Patrick Demo, $5. If anything, Kelsey's success motivates me to do better. It should. If I want her kind of success, maybe I should take a page or two from her book. Yes. I think I said it before, it's like, just look at what successful people do and how they act. Look at what she's doing and how she's acting. What did she do? She made a slick game. Maybe it was a little light on some mechanics, but overall it's solid. And she marketed the hell out of it. But the reason it worked is because she's not controversial.
Here's irony.
She'll talk to anybody. She'll smile. She'll promote it.
She brought a finished product.
Yeah.
We know somebody who, we've talked about someone who didn't.
Yeah.
And has raised an enormous amount of money.
MCDM.
That's not a finished product. We still don't know what the hell it is.
Yep. But like, look at the smart, like I said, just follow what smart people do. Not only them, but like, all right, so you're not the original creator, but just look at somebody like Matt and Nick on Black Lodge. Good Lord. And they've got like 5,000 subs on their YouTube channel in the last couple of months more. So they're like over 10. They're smart guys. They make slick, good videos. If I was doing what some people are saying, I'd be like, oh man, what are those guys, man? They doubled me. Instead, I look at them and be like, all right, what are they doing? What can I incorporate from their channel? What are they doing? Oh, and also, they're getting into publishing now. Who do they hitch their star to? Shadowdark. Just follow successful people. Learn from them. Even if you maybe don't, necessarily love them. Like them enough to learn from them.
Follow the money.
Venger's Kickstarter is about $550 away from funding. Yeah, like I said, look, Venger puts his heart and soul into it too. But I love the guy, but it is a niche within a niche, as I think Cal pointed out earlier. It's only going to get a certain amount of people. Now, look, if you sacrifice something a little bit and you kind of tone it down a hair, make a Shadowdark version, you could be swimming in money because it's just crazy enough that people are like, wow, I've never seen, this. There's a lot of people who came into the hobby with that game. So sell them something. Sell them a hot dog they want to eat. There you go. All right. We will do like 5 minutes because we're coming up on it. I mean, literally, like we're just probably gonna reset everything. I think I even made a. Oh, here we go.
He looked like he was wearing can you go back to his picture?
Yeah, hold on.
What's on that? What's that sigil on his armor? Looks like a howling wolf. I don't know.
I like it. That's scale mail, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
Scale mail. I like the look of them. Remember, alas,
Boy.
in the Temple of Set, Roland,
steely blue eyes.
Yep. Roland was killed. But all right, so I'm almost afraid to switch cameras. So like I said, this is going to be real quick.
Hold on, you got 12 new comments, 13.
Yeah. If you have your phone, maybe just keep a lookout for super chats. That's all. And then
Definitely will. Thank you.
We'll just over. But all right, so the boys are well, actually, Otto and Soraya, after robbing the Temple of Set and losing Roland in the treasure room, they made good their escape. Going from Port Prospera, they fled in the middle of the night, and they are headed to Stormhold. Their horse, they only had one horse. And
DM James says he's here for the hot blonde.
There you go. A little bit more of Soraya.
Chris Miller's got it here. Hold on. We got to.
Yeah.
You got to go up. You got to go live.
It's hard to do when it's on StreamYards. Hard to do.
Go up.
Yep. I'll throw James's up there just here for the hot blonde. Thank you, James.
Chris Miller's got to go.
Go ahead. I'll give you control.
There you go. It's right there, buddy.
We go. Yep. Thank you. Chris, $5. Got to go, guys. Let's put our differences aside, buckle down, create some else. Yes, exactly. Support Venger and Victor and Pundit.
Chris, have a good night.
Yep.
Have a good one, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, I'm rooting for you. I'm on your side. In fact, I'd like to contribute something to the next issue like I did before. Remember, I did tankards and tussles in the last issue of Mad Scribe. So, yeah. Guys, take a look. Mad Scribe magazine. If you're into like something kind of historical but fantastical.
Quarterly, it gets sent in your mail.
Yeah. Yep. Just like the old Dragon magazine.
Keep the mailman working.
Yeah. Baptism of Fire, of course. Which Chris has published for RPG Pundit. So thank you, Chris. Godspeed, buddy. All right. Yeah, so you guys are headed to Stormhold. Now you met someone new. He introduced himself as Rorik. That was about halfway when your horse kind of came up lame, and he happened to have an extra one. Now, Soraya, the blonde that you're traveling with, who you don't fully trust, she was, remember, Roland's woman. Now you just kind of have been thrown in with her as the sole survivors of the raid. Remember, you guys are loaded with treasure too.
We have 4 sacks,
Yep.
2 full ones and 2 partials.
Yep. She tells you that there's a
Snake oil just gifted 5. Thank you.
Oh, snake oil. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just call it out. I'll run it. Thank you, buddy. So you met up with this new guy, Rorik, who had an extra horse. You essentially paid him for it, I believe.
20.
Yep. He's on his way to Stormhold as well. Soraya, and I suppose Rorik could tell you that there's one main inn. It's like a 2-day trip. I think we said from Port Prospera to Stormhold by horseback. If you're just going at kind of normal speed. And she said by nightfall we can make the Midway Inn. Which is kind of like the huge tavern in the waypoint between the cities. And I believe you had just gotten there the last time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you're looking at, as you're going along the coastal road, which has seen, which sees moderate traffic. Oh, remember too, you think you saw someone from the Temple of Set.
Well, we saw somebody. We never got a good look. Someone zoomed past us.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you kind of had bad feelings. Thank you, James. 5 memberships.
Thank you very much.
You the man, as they say. All of you guys are the man. Snake Oil, all you guys who've been super chatting throughout the night. Thank you. Yep, Pundit's leaving. Take care, Pundit. Like I said, I think him and John are still fighting in the chat. It's like oil and water. But I will just try to stay in the middle. All right, so you guys are looking. Now let me describe this for you. There is this gigantic, and when I say gigantic, it is huge. 3 stories right off the road. There's a couple of like supporting houses. I wouldn't necessarily call it like a village, but there's a couple of maybe like houses built behind this inn. So it's definitely meant to service travelers. It's kind of like one of those like travel ports USA or whatever,
Breezewood,
Breezewood, Pennsylvania. This is actually kind of like one of those. So anybody from here, and I guess we would say that Rorik at least has some experience here, kind of knows this place.
Oh yeah.
You've been here. You've done time here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a place, there's a stable, of course, that's just enormous. It's a well-run, it's definitely a well-run inn. You know the drill. They give you like a little chit if they stable your horses.
Absolutely.
Okay. To get your horse back, you pay up. Well run. Tell me what you guys are doing. Your demeanor. Soraya is kind of clinging close to you, Otto.
God.
Yeah. Of course, she immediately took her treasure bags off the horse.
That's
as
fine.
I'm sure you did.
When we get to this inn, 3 rooms.
And when he says that, I kind of like, what the heck? Like, all I see is that here's a couple.
Having marital problems.
The hot one's clinging to the handsome guy over there, and there's like 3 rooms. What's going on here?
Yeah. So when you walk in, you find it's the rooms here are very reasonable. We'll just say straight up out of the box, 5 silver per room. Okay, separate room. This place has a lot of them. You walk into it's a large open area, but then there's probably like almost an equally large area in the back that has just a bunch of separate private booths. Okay. So, and those are free to take, they're just kind of curtained off.
Kind of got a booth.
Okay. We'll get some food in us. I see you put up that list.
Yeah.
Double D.
Yeah.
Is that stuff available right now? Or is that for tomorrow?
This is just kind of a standard list, but you
Man,
could get a bath here. Yep.
A bath and a haircut.
Ooh.
I want to change my appearance.
1, 2, or 3. There's a haircut available.
If it's
a
not,
barber,
tomorrow's
4, 5, or
fine.
6.
Yeah.
Not available. It is nighttime. If you recall,
we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, but there is someone here who will do that for you. Yeah, and of course, as you can see, goblet of wine is 2 silver. Basically, like drink and dinner.
Feast and wine for me.
Yeah, you're probably talking about a gold. When everything's said and done.
Yep.
For a good meal, couple stiff drinks.
Yep.
So you guys are getting a private booth.
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So when you sit down, Soraya is looking across the table at you, Rorik, suspiciously.
I'll try not to stare. I'll start asking questions. So what drives you? What brings you couple here in this direction? I don't think you're from around here.
I'm not. What's driving me? Right now, I'm just thinking about where's next? Where am I going next?
And she says, well, where we're going next is Stormhold. You don't have to go with us. Almost like she's trying to
you don't have to
off.
go with. And I'll say to Soraya, you don't have to come with us. You can go your own way.
She immediately gets a little petulant, and she says, leans into you and whispers, we have to see this through till we're safe and on a boat.
It's so loud. I probably don't hear that. It's just there's a lot of.
Make a wisdom check. Yeah, make a wisdom check. Maybe this will be your first official role as Rorik.
Below?
Yeah, that or below.
5.
Yeah, you kind of hear it. You kind of see her, kind of do a little lip reading. You can definitely hear her. She says, "Till we're on a boat."
I won't say anything. I got that noted. Okay, but the dynamic of their relationship is a lot different than I thought. There might be a chance.
Yeah. Right now, you're probably thinking, I can't figure these guys out.
Yeah, these guys
are they the husband and wife, brother and sister? What's going on here? Cousins?
All right. Well, I'll get chatty. Just conversation makes brings down people's walls. Let's just talk. This is a food talk. I'm anxious to talk to people.
Yeah. A boat's not a bad idea, but to where?
And you say this out loud?
Yep.
She's like, as she starts talking, she finds herself looking at you. And then she kind of just says, look, we need to go north. That's where you're from, isn't it? You must have friends there. You must have family.
What brings you? What's your motivation?
Well, the opportunity for a job in Stormhold here, but
she's like, answer my question, she says as she looks at you.
And I'll give her a couple gold and I'll say, can you go refresh our glasses?
Oh, she says. She takes it and then she storms out of the booth and then does indeed go up to the bar, leaving you two alone to talk.
Dude, it's like.
And I'll say, so you're looking for a job?
Yeah. There was an opportunity. Hope if it's still available in Stormhold,
What's the job?
Swinging my maul as hard as I can. Someone pointed at the bad guy, and I swing it.
I have a job opportunity for you.
Okay.
I'm looking to go far away.
All right.
And I could use a companion and some protection.
All right, this is interesting. Across the waters.
Can you put up that map, Double D?
You got it. So do you want this map or the old one?
The old one. We're way past. We're way down below that.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to Civ.
You've heard Civ's a big enough port city. You definitely have heard it. You know that lies in the northern land of the Fagland, the Empire.
I've heard of it. I've always wanted to go up there.
That's where I'd like to go. Civ.
From being down here, definitely boats leaving from Stormhold to Civ.
Right.
On the weekly?
Probably more on the daily or every other daily. Now keep in mind, there's just the way the weather pattern is. Sometimes at Stormhold, the weather doesn't cooperate fully, so there are delays. It's called Stormhold for a reason. It is known for its storms. Rainstorms, we're not talking snow here. That would be more like
tomorrow. I would like to get passage on a boat from Stormhold to Civ. Would you be interested?
Yeah. I reach over and I'll grab your arm right by your hand. I'm like, what do you do? I mean, if I'm not supposed to know, I get it. But I'm kind of curious.
I do very well.
Hey-o.
Look
at that smile. Always quick with the wit.
Well, with the testy blonde on your tail there, I guess you do very well.
If you want her, you can have her. She
comes back looking a little ashen faced, and she closes the curtain quick, and she says, Otto.
Yes.
Watch. Don't make it obvious, but peek out the curtain towards the end of the front bar.
Okay. I will sneakily do that.
You look out there.
Hmm.
That's what you see. Now, he doesn't seem to be trying to, bust up the place or anything. Looks like he's there looks like two guards are with him. They're just kind of standing at the bar right now, just kind of like drinking their drinks, but kind of casually looking around, talking to. Sometimes somebody will go up and order a drink, and they'll say something to him, or I should say, he'll say something to him. This is Tharn, by the way, from the Temple of Set. This was Otto's foil, and Roland's too, to some extent. Yeah, Roland. They both wanted to kill this guy. Played, of course, by Gary Busey.
I'll say to Soraya, he didn't see you, did he?
Of course not.
And I just say, it looks like we're here for quite some time now.
She said, we're going to have to wait them out. What if they start looking booth to booth?
We'll hide under the booth.
She's like, can we trust him, do you think? She points right at Rorik.
I say, we absolutely can.
You can trust me.
She says, well, there's a man out there. Do you know the Temple of Set? You do.
Oh, yeah.
You know their reputation?
Absolutely.
Yeah. She says,
they're the worst.
She kind of smiles and says, well,
we
may have a job for you.
Okay.
I said we were misguided and we wanted to join the Temple of excuse me. We wanted to join the Temple of Set. But then when we saw what they were up to, we wanted to leave the Temple of Set. So we left in the middle of the night. And this man wants to make sure that we go back.
Well, everyone knows that no one leaves the temple.
We did.
Damn.
Now, you hear over the din of this Traveler's Inn, which it's very full. It's a very large place, and even at it being large, it's very full. I mean, it's not like shoulder to shoulder, but every table's taken. People are standing. People are constantly going up and down the stairs, to the 3 floors, coming and going to the rooms. But Otto, you hear a voice that sounds so familiar above the din. It's a female's voice. And you swear, you're like, I know that voice. Do you dare look out or not?
I'm going to go to the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I'll peel it back just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see where Tharn is.
Yeah. He's got his back turned.
I'll take
now.
a peek up
Yep.
and see what I see.
Opposite end of the bar.
Raquel Welch.
Do you remember her?
Yes.
Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
From the ship from the north on the way down. She was here, traveling with her mother.
Mm-hmm.
She appears to be by herself, but if you recall, she was very much I don't want to say a flirt, but very charismatic.
She's very you can say flirt.
Yeah, a little bit of a flirt. She's already kind of in that mode as she's talking to probably 4 or 5 people around her, of course, all men, and she's got them in the palm of her hand.
I'm going to look at her and see if I can make eye contact with her. That's all I'm looking for.
Make a charisma roll.
13 or 5.
Dude, 5s are hot. You can catch her attention, yeah.
And I'll motion for her to come down, and I'll make a gesture that there's money to be made. And I'll see if she can pick up on it.
She sees you, and her eyes get wide, and she smiles. And then you can tell she's making her excuses as she comes in, as she leaves that gaggle of men who all like stare at her as she walks. And she immediately comes over to your curtained booth, peeks in, and says, "May I join you?"
Absolutely.
She sits down. She leaves the curtain open.
And we close it.
She notices that. She says, "Are we hiding from somebody?" And she kind of smiles.
I am. And I could really use you as a diversion.
A diversion? She says, "What is your name again? I remember you from the ship on the way down here."
Otto.
Otto, that's right. Where's your friend?
He unfortunately passed.
Oh my Lord.
But I'm a new friend.
Yeah.
She looks at you and she introduces herself. She says, "I'm Aurora."
I'm Rorik. I'll offer my hand.
Yeah. She takes it. She allows you to kiss her hand.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Well, why not? She's
Aurora, here's what we need. We got Snake Oil Sean, Double D.
Ooh, all right.
He is
member.
Just
became a member.
Welcome to the inner circle.
Yep.
He buys memberships and he is a member. Thank you so much, Sean. You're very generous.
So we are
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna tell her. There's a man out there with 2 guards from the Temple of Set. We need them to not find us. And I can compensate you for that.
She says, "Oh, don't be silly. I'd do this for free." She kind of leans out and she's looking around. She says, "End of the bar? Those 2?"
There should be 3.
Oh, the one in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, is he a priest?
He is a guard, or he's in charge of something at the Temple of Set. He's in charge of busting balls.
She says, "Oh."
But I need him occupied while the 3 of us leave.
She says, "Leave. Are you leaving, or are you
leaving?"
Very well. She says, where are you headed?"
We need to catch a boat. We need to go to the docks.
Oh, she kind of gets it. Stormhold. You head to Stormhold, do you not?
Yes.
She says, "Well, I think I can. You're going to ride through the night then. Well, be careful," she says. I will do the best I can.
I will leave something on the table. If you choose to take it, so be it. If not,"
she says, "Oh, don't worry." She says, I'm heading that direction anyway." She says, "You may just run into me at Stormhold."
Okay.
She says, look at the Crimson Blade Tavern when you get there."
Okay.
"It's a spicy place," she says. She says, tell me when you want me to go."
The sooner the better.
All right.
Give me your thing for the horse. You guys split. I'll go get the horses ready.
Okay. The ticket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
So I'm going to keep my eye on Aurora.
Yep. So you go do the pay for the.
Yeah.
They tell you, didn't you just get here?
Yeah, something came up.
They're like, don't worry about it. They just say, go get it. It's fine.
I toss a coin anyhow. So
they're like, thank you. Yeah. And obviously they don't pay you any money because they don't know who you are.
No.
But you can see as you're going out, you see Aurora leading that troop of men that she had in the palm of her hands towards the end of the bar where Tharn is and his guards. And she starts holding court right over there, right next to him. And you could see the guards with Tharn definitely are looking at her. I mean, who wouldn't, right?
When we see an opportunity, me and Soraya,
there is a back door.
We're taking it.
So you can take it. You go up there. She immediately, you can tell she's starting to engage like those two and Tharn, like, oh, come on, don't be so dour. Haven't you ever seen a proper lady before? And, everybody starts hooting and hollering and laughing. And meanwhile, you and Soraya leave out the back door.
Yep.
Pretty soon, you're at the stables with Rorik. All right. You have no food in your belly, really?
Nope, we didn't even get to eat.
Yeah, you have a little bit of a drink that you drank, and you got a long ride ahead of you, throughout the night and into tomorrow. Maybe by evening time tomorrow, you'll get there. And why don't we stop it there?
Amen.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, you guys are very, very good tonight. Let's go back to the comments, pick up a few. Yep, Surly, she got looks to kill. Let's be very low. She can hold
That's
all
a
those.
Motley Crue song.
You know what I mean, JP. Thank you guys that stuck around. Boy, 85 still sticking around for
That's
our
awesome.
little live play. If
Thanks
you
a
guys,
lot.
because there's got to be new people here because it's usually only about 50. If you like this, we usually run this on OBS, so there's a little bit more graphically that I can do. But I knew I would be having guests on, and I'm glad I did because it was a good part of the show, talking to you guys. So we had to run it on StreamYard tonight, but we'll be back on OBS next week. I do believe. Thank you all. It's late. It's 10:14. I'm going to take you guys out. We'll do a little something for you. Tell you what, we'll do a little. We'll make sure. I think this one will be a pretty popular. So maybe, just maybe, we'll do a little pencil neck geek for you. All right. Love you guys.
Good night, everybody.
We'll talk soon. Thanks again for all your support, all your super chats, everybody who did that, donations, memberships, all you guys. Love you.
Doesn't go unnoticed.
Yep. And thank you, of course, to Aaron for coming on early in the stream. Immortal Rising. Check it out. Link in the description. Peace.
Back when I was a kid, life was going swell. Till something happened. Blew everything to hell. That night my daddy stumbled in, all pale and weak. Said a woman up the block just gave birth to a geek. Mom said, sell it to the circus. What the heck? Dad said, nope, this one's a pencil neck. And if there's one thing lower than a sideshow freak, it's a gritty, scum-sucking pencil neck geek. You see, if you take a pencil that won't hold lead, looks like a pipe cleaner attached to a head, add a buggy whip body with a brain that leaks, you got yourself a grit-eating pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek. Soon the geeks were popping up all over town. You couldn't hardly sneeze without knocking one down. After a nice juicy steak, if you need a toothpick, just reach for a geek. They'll do the trick. One day we cut one up for fish bait. Learned our lesson just a little bit late. Soon as the geek hit the drink, the water turned red. Next day, sure enough, all the fish were dead. Pencil neck geek, grit-eating freak, Scum-sucking p-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-good losing streak. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Most any night, you know where I can be found. Yeah, stomping some geek's head into the ground. So keep the faith, cause in Blassie you can trust. I won't give up till the last geek bites the dust. Pencil neck geek, gritty freak, scum-sucking p-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. They say these geeks come a dime a dozen. I'm looking for the guy who's supplying the dimes. It's gonna be real hard times for all of these grit-eating, scum-sucking, boot-licking, drop-kicking, gut-grinding, nail-biting, glue-sniffing, scab-picking, butt-scratching, egg-hatching, sleazy, smelly, pepper-bellied, dirty, lousy, rotten, stinking freaks. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek.